stop for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not small, and it is not random. You did not arrive here by accident. I brought you here because your heart has been carrying more than anyone knows, and I refuse to let you miss the joy I have prepared for you. Stay with me all the way through this message, because I am not speaking in fragments today. I am unfolding something that could shift the atmosphere of your life. Do not click away too quickly. Do not let distractions steal this, and do not treat this like just another passing word on a screen. Listen closely, lean in, and let every sentence reach the places in you that have been tired, guarded, and quietly waiting. If you stay until the end, you will understand why this moment found you now, and why walking away too soon could make you miss the very happiness you have been praying for. You did not arrive here by accident. I know it may have looked ordinary from your side. Maybe you were just scrolling. Maybe you were passing time. Maybe your mind was already full, your heart already tired, and you did not expect anything meaningful from the next few seconds. But I need you to understand something very clearly. This moment was not assembled by chance. I brought you here. I saw the exact condition of your heart before you even paused, and I knew this was the moment when you would finally be still long enough to hear what I have been wanting to tell you. You may think you found this message, but the truth is, I guided you into it with more care than you realize. I know how many things have been pulling at your attention lately. I know how much noise has surrounded you. I know how easy it has been for your days to blur together until even your own thoughts felt crowded. That is exactly why I stepped into this moment. I did not come to interrupt you to burden you. I came because you needed to feel me near again, and because your heart has been asking questions that your mouth has not always known how to say. I have watched you carry more than most people around you understand. You have been trying to stay composed, trying to keep moving, trying to make sense of things that have not felt easy to explain. From the outside, you may have looked fine to others, but I have seen the inward weight. I have seen the moments when you smiled but felt no real joy behind it. I have seen the pauses between your responsibilities, the quiet places where your thoughts got heavy, the nights when you were more exhausted in spirit than in body. None of that has been hidden from me. That is why I wanted this first moment between us to feel personal, because it is personal. I am not speaking generally. I am speaking to you. I know your history. I know what has disappointed you. I know what has worn you down. I know the places where you have started to wonder whether anything truly good could still reach you in a way that feels real. And before I say anything else, I want you to let this settle inside you. I am here, and I have been here. Even when you felt disconnected, I had not moved away from you. Even when your emotions were numb, I was still paying attention to every detail. So as this message begins, I do not want you to rush past this first truth. Let yourself receive it. You are not overlooked. You are not drifting through some meaningless moment. You are being met by me on purpose, with intention, with care, and with love that has not weakened. There is a reason your attention stopped here. There is a reason something in you felt drawn to stay. That inner pull was not random curiosity. It was my hand, gentle but deliberate, leading you into a moment I prepared because I want your heart open before I place something beautiful inside it. You do not have to force anything right now. You do not have to prove anything. Just stay with me here and let yourself be found. This is where the shift begins. Not with pressure, not with performance, but with the quiet realization that I have come close again, and I have something good to say to you. You came into this moment expecting nothing unusual. That is part of why I love meeting you here, because I know how often life has trained you to lower your expectations just to protect your heart. You have learned how to move through a day without asking too much from it. You have learned how to keep going without hoping too loudly. You have learned how to survive disappointment by pretending you were not really waiting for anything in the first place. I have watched you do that, and I understand why. When enough things fall through, when enough prayers seem delayed, when enough doors stay closed longer than you thought they would, something in you starts to become careful. You stop reaching with the same openness. You stop expecting joy to arrive without a warning attached to it. You tell yourself to be realistic, to stay grounded, to not get your hopes up too high. But I want you to stop right here and let me challenge that tired instinct. Let your shoulders loosen. Breathe a little deeper. Stay with me. Because I did not draw you into this moment just to comfort you for a minute and then send you back unchanged. I brought you here because I have something real to place inside your spirit, and it is far more beautiful than you expected when you first looked at this message. What I am preparing for you is not shallow excitement. It is not a passing mood. It is not the kind of happiness that flickers for a moment and disappears the moment life becomes difficult again. What I am speaking over you carries weight, and it carries warmth. It will reach deeper than your emotions and begin touching the parts of you that have felt tired for longer than you have admitted. I know you have been functioning. I know you have been showing up. I know you have been trying to keep faith alive even when it felt smaller than it used to. But I also know that part of you has quietly wondered whether true joy still has your name on it. I am telling you now, it does. Do not argue with me. Do not push that thought away because it feels too good to believe. Let it land. Receive it. I want you to open your heart wider than you have lately. I want you to stop assuming that every good thing must arrive with conditions attached. I want you to let me surprise you. You have been bracing for more pressure, more waiting, more uncertainty. Yet I am asking you to make room for something gentler and stronger than all of that. I am leading you toward a joy that will not embarrass your faith. It will honor it. So listen closely and do not rush ahead in your mind. This is the beginning of a holy contrast in your life. What looked like another forgettable moment is becoming a doorway. What seemed small is becoming sacred. What you expected to pass by is becoming the place where your heart begins to wake up again. Let that truth settle. Do not resist it because it feels unfamiliar. Invite it in. Tell yourself the truth. I do not have to stay guarded in front of God. I do not have to expect disappointment from the one who has been carrying me all along. Come closer now. Lean in. Keep listening. I am not teasing you with hope. I am preparing you to recognize it when it arrives, because the happiness I have for you is closer than your weary mind has been willing to believe. I know exactly how long it has been since you felt light inside. I am not speaking about the kind of smile you gave people because you did not want them to worry. I am not talking about the moments when you laughed because it was easier than explaining what was really going on in your heart. I mean that deeper kind of lightness, the kind that settles into your chest and makes you feel safe enough to breathe without carrying tomorrow before it arrives. It has been a while, hasn't it? Longer than most people realize. You have gotten used to functioning with weight on you. You have learned how to move through responsibilities while carrying thoughts that never fully quiet down. You have become so practiced at being dependable, at being composed, at being the one who keeps going, that even you have sometimes forgotten how tired your inner world has become. But I have not forgotten. I have seen every hidden side. I have noticed the emotional strain you tried to explain away. I have watched you try to convince yourself that this heaviness is just adulthood, just life, just something you need to accept. I want you to stop accepting what I never intended to become permanent in you. Come closer and hear me carefully. You are not weak because you feel worn down. You are not failing because joy has felt distant. You are not less faithful because your heart hath been heavy. You have been carrying things longer than you were meant to carry them alone, and that has changed the atmosphere inside you. It has made you cautious. It has made rest feel unfamiliar. It has made peace feel almost suspicious, as if calm cannot be trusted because something painful might be waiting behind it. I understand why you became this way, but I do not want you to stay here. I want you to notice what has been happening to you. I want you to admit what your soul has needed. Let yourself be honest with me now. Tell me you are tired. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me what has felt too heavy. Do not filter it. Do not make it sound polished. Just bring it. I am not asking you to perform strength in front of me. I am asking you to let me touch the place where your strength has been running low. That is where this change begins. And as you stay here with me, I want you to consider something. The fact that your heart hath been heavy does not mean it is beyond renewal. The fact that you have been carrying so much does not mean this is the emotional climate you must live in forever. I can restore what has been drained. I can soften what has become tense. I can return to you the kind of joy that does not feel childish or fragile, but steady and deeply rooted. So do not turn away from this moment. Stay present. Let me name what you have been feeling so you no longer have to hide from it. You have been strong for a long time, but now I want you to be open. I want you to let me into the rooms inside you that have stayed dim for too long. Your heart was not created to live under constant strain. Let me teach it how to feel light again. You have asked me, even if only in the privacy of your own thoughts, why so many things seem to take longer than they should have. You looked at other people and saw movement. You saw doors opening, prayers being answered, lives shifting, and meanwhile you were still waiting, still adjusting, still trying to make peace with things that did not arrive when you expected them to. I know how that felt. I know how easy it became to wonder whether I was withholding something from you, whether I had gone quiet, whether the silence meant you had somehow fallen behind. But I want you to stop and let me correct that with tenderness and clarity. What you called delay was never punishment. It was not me turning away from you. It was not me forgetting you. It was not me watching your pain with indifference. I was preparing you. I was working in the hidden places of your life with a precision you could not yet see, because the joy I have for you is not small, and it is not fragile. It had to arrive in a heart that was ready to keep it, not lose it. Think of it this way. If I had handed you certain answers too soon, they would have landed in a version of you that was still too exhausted, too wounded, too uncertain to carry them with peace. Some blessings are beautiful, but they are heavy in the best way. They ask something of your soul. They require steadiness, trust, clarity, and a deeper capacity than you had in those earlier moments. That is not an insult to who you were. It is simply the truth of how growth works. I was not keeping joy from you. I was building the place in you where joy could live without being swallowed by fear. I was teaching you how to breathe differently. I was loosening your grip on what could not last. I was clearing emotional clutter you did not know you were still carrying. I was strengthening your inner life so that when relief finally came, you would not spend all your time waiting for it to disappear. I want you to receive that now. Do not keep calling yourself rejected when I was actually refining you. Do not label yourself forgotten when I was shaping you in secret. Let that false story go. Release it. Hand it to me and let me replace it with truth. So I want you to do something right now. Look back, but do it with new eyes. Revisit those closed doors. Revisit those painful pauses. Revisit those moments that felt like silence. Not to reopen old wounds, but to let me show you what was really happening. I was not absent in those seasons. I was careful. I was kind. I was patient in a way that protected your future, even when it confused your present. The joy that is coming will make more sense when you understand that it was not delayed out of cruelty, but timed out of love. Stay open to that. Let your heart soften around that truth. You are not being teased by hope. You are being readied for fulfillment. So stop punishing yourself with old interpretations. Stop assuming the wait meant something was wrong with you. It did not. The wait was holy. The wait was preparation. And what is arriving now is something you are finally strong enough to receive with both gratitude and peace. What you now understand as preparation, I will also use as provision for others. The same hands I strengthened in your waiting, I now invite to sow into the awakening of souls who are still where you once were. When you give, you are not losing. You are planting seeds in a field I have already promised to bless, and the harvest will speak beyond your lifetime. Did I not say, give, and it will be given to you? Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am calling you into that overflow now. If this word has reached you, it is because I am moving through this message to reach many more. Do not close your hand when I am asking you to open it. Support this work through Super Thanks membership, with the PayPal link in the description, and watch how I breathe upon what you release. I will guard what concerns you and multiply what you entrust to me. Act now, because this moment is not ordinary. It is appointed. There are things you once begged me for that would have broken your peace if I had placed them in your hands at the moment you asked. I know that may be hard to hear at first, because when you were praying for those things, you were sincere. You were hopeful. You believed they would fix something, heal something, complete something. From where you stood, they looked like answers. They looked like relief. They looked like the very thing that would finally make life feel easier. But I could see beyond the moment you were in. I could see what those blessings would have touched in you before you were ready. I could see how some of them would have fed your anxiety instead of your peace, how some would have amplified your wounds instead of healing them, how some would have tied you to people, places, or patterns that would have looked good at first and quietly drained the life from you later. So I stepped in. I blocked what you thought you needed. I slowed what you were desperate to accelerate. I let certain opportunities pass. I let certain doors stay closed. Not because I wanted to deny you joy, but because I refused to let you call something a blessing when I knew it would become a burden. I want you to picture a fruit that looks beautiful from the outside but is still unripe at the center. If you bite into it too early, it does not nourish you the way it was meant to. It disappoints you. It turns what should have been sweet into something hard to enjoy. That is what some of your answered prayers would have felt like if I had released them on your timeline instead of mine. You would have carried more than you had the strength for. You would have entered rooms where your heart was still too vulnerable. You would have attached your identity to outcomes that were never meant to define you. I know you did not understand that then. I know some of those no's felt sharp. I know some of those delays made you question yourself. But I need you to let me reframe that pain. I was not resisting your happiness. I was guarding it. I was protecting the future version of you who would one day look back and finally understand why certain things had to wait, why certain people had to leave, why certain plans had to collapse before they became your prison. Receive that now. Let the resentment loosen. Let the confusion settle. Let my perspective become stronger than your old disappointment. So I am asking you to trust me in a deeper way than before. Stop mourning every closed door as if it was a lost destiny. Some doors were not your future. They were your lesson. Some invitations were not my provision. They were my interruption, because I would rather disappoint your timing than allow your soul to be damaged by something that arrived looking like help. Come, Place those old frustrations in my hands. Surrender them. Invite me to heal the places where delay felt personal. I want your heart free enough to recognize what is truly from me when it comes. The blessings I am bringing now will not ask you to betray your peace in order to keep them. They will fit differently. They will rest differently. They will carry my fingerprint, and you will feel the difference. So stay near. Keep listening. You were not rejected. You were protected. The joy I am bringing to you is going to feel deeper than you expect, and part of the reason is because of what you have survived to get here. If your life had stayed easy, if your heart had never been stretched, if your spirit had never learned how to keep going when answers felt far away, you would not feel this next season the same way. You would enjoy it, perhaps, but you would not understand its weight. You would not recognize how sacred it is. You would not know how to receive it with the gratitude that only comes after pain has stripped away your illusions. That is why what is coming will touch you so profoundly. You are not stepping into a casual happiness. You are stepping into relief after pressure, breath after holding too much for too long, warmth after an inward winter that made you wonder if your heart would ever feel soft again. I want you to sit with that image for a moment. Picture yourself walking out of a long, cold season and feeling sunlight on your face after months of gray skies. At first, warmth does not feel small. It feels almost overwhelming, because you remember the cold. That is how this joy will reach you. You have been through more than many people know. You have kept moving while feeling emotionally drained. You have shown up for others while carrying questions you could not answer for yourself. You have learned how to function while part of you quietly felt depleted. I saw every bit of that. I saw the days when you did what needed to be done but had no real delight left in it. I saw the moments when you looked around and wondered why everything felt heavier than it used to. I saw how you kept trying, even when your inner world felt thin, stretched, almost brittle in places. And yet you did not completely close your heart. You may have become cautious. You may have become tired. You may have lowered your expectations to protect yourself. But you stayed. You kept a little space open for me, even when your hope felt worn. That matters more than you know. Come closer now, and hear me clearly. The very season that nearly emptied you is the same season that made room for something fuller than what you thought was possible. Let that sink in. Stop seeing those hard months only as loss. See them as the clearing of the ground. See them as the deep plowing before a harvest. What felt like depletion was also preparation. So I want you to do something simple but important. Stop bracing. Release the habit of expecting the next disappointment. Unclench inside. Invite your heart to believe that goodness can arrive and stay longer than a moment. Tell yourself the truth. I am allowed to receive joy without fear. I am allowed to feel something beautiful without waiting for it to be taken away. That is where I am leading you. The joy that is coming will feel powerful because it is not meeting a naive heart. It is meeting a season one. He is finding you after tears, after endurance, after nights that taught you how deeply you need me. That is why it will land with such force. That is why it will move you. Stay open. Stay near. Do not talk yourself out of the very comfort you have prayed for. The happiness ahead will not be shallow. It will be holy, and you will feel it all the way down. I did not miss a single tear you tried to hide. I saw the ones that came late at night when the house was quiet and you finally stopped pretending you were fine. I saw the ones that gathered in your eyes during the day when you had to blink them back because there was no space to fall apart in front of anyone. I saw the ache you carried into ordinary places, the grocery store, the drive home, the shower, the silence between conversations, the moments when life looked normal from the outside but your heart felt like it was carrying a private storm. You may have convinced other people that you were managing. You may have even convinced yourself for a while. But I knew the difference between you functioning and you being well. I knew when you were pushing through and when you were quietly unraveling. That is why I want you to stop for a moment and let this become real in you. Your pain was never invisible to me. Your tears were never wasted. Your sorrow was never filed away as something small or forgettable. I held every part of it with more tenderness than you can imagine. Sometimes you thought that because no one else understood the depth of what you were feeling, perhaps I had let it pass me too. But I was there in the room. I was there in the car. I was there in the silence. I was there when you sat down and stared at nothing because your mind was too tired to keep carrying what your heart had been trying to process. I was there when you whispered half prayers that did not sound polished. I was there when all you had was a sigh, a question, or a tired glance upward that carried more pain than words ever could. Do not underestimate how much I honor those moments. They mattered to me because you mattered to me. And I want you to understand something else. Those hidden tears did more than express pain. They softened places in you that had become hardened by disappointment. They opened conversations between us that comfort never would have opened. They made room for a deeper honesty, and that honesty became holy ground. Think of rain falling on dry earth. At first, it looks like weakness. But the rain is what makes the ground ready for life again. Some of the tears you were ashamed of were actually the rain that prepared your soul for what I am about to grow in you. So do not rush past your own story now. Bring those memories to me without shame. Invite me into the places where you still feel tender. Let me touch what still stings. Let me reinterpret the moments you thought only proved how exhausted you were. They also proved how deeply you cared, how long you held on, how honest you became when there was no energy left for pretending. That matters to me. I want you to receive this with your whole heart. I did not forget your hidden grief, and I am not done speaking into it. The tears you thought marked your breaking point are becoming part of your healing point. Stay with me here. Do not hide now. Let yourself be seen fully, because the joy I am bringing will feel even more real when you realize it is entering a heart I have already watched through every private ache. Something has already begun to change in you, and I want you to notice it instead of dismissing it. Do not rush past this. Pause here. Breathe slowly. Pay attention to what is happening beneath your thoughts. You may not have words for it yet, and that is all right. You may not be able to point to a dramatic event or some visible sign in your life that proves everything is different. But your spirit has already started responding to my presence. That quiet softening you feel when you listen closely, that subtle sense that the weight is not pressing quite as hard as it did before, that unexpected calm that slips in for a moment and then leaves you wondering where it came from, that is not your imagination. That is not emotional wishful thinking. That is me. I am already moving through the places in you that have been tense, worn down, and guarded for too long. I am already touching what fear has kept tight. I am already loosening what anxiety convinced you had to stay clenched just to survive. So do not argue with the peace when it comes. Welcome it. Stop and receive it. Let it stay longer this time. You have become so used to carrying pressure that peace can feel unfamiliar, almost suspicious. I know that about you. When you have lived with heaviness long enough, even relief can feel strange at first. You start asking yourself whether it is real, whether it will last, whether you are safe to trust it. That is why I am asking you now to become aware of the small signs. Notice how your breathing changes when you let my words sink in. Notice how your chest feels when you stop rehearsing every worry. Notice the way your thoughts begin to slow when you stop feeding the fear and simply stay with me. These are not small things. They are sacred indicators. Think of dawn for a moment. The night does not disappear all at once. First, the darkness loosens. The edges soften. A thin line of light appears on the horizon before the sun is fully visible. That is where you are right now. You are in that early light. You may still see shadows, but the darkness is no longer in charge. The shift has started, and if you keep listening, you will recognize it more clearly. So lean in. Stay present. Let your spirit become more aware than your worry. I want you to cooperate with this change instead of resisting it. Open your hands, even if only in your heart. Tell me you are willing. Tell me you are ready to stop treating every peaceful moment like it must be temporary. Invite me deeper. Say yes to the quiet work I am doing inside you. Do not wait for everything around you to look different before you believe something is changing. Trust what I am doing within you first. That is how my best work often begins. I do not always announce transformation with noise. Sometimes I arrive like morning light slipping through a window you forgot to close. Sometimes I move like warm water over cold hands, slowly restoring feeling where numbness had settled. Let that image stay with you. I am restoring feeling. I am restoring softness. I am restoring the part of you that had begun to live in defense mode. Stay close now. Keep listening. What you are sensing is the beginning of the answer you have been waiting for, and I do not want you to miss it simply because it came gently. That quiet shift you feel is not only for you. It is meant to flow through you like a river that does not stop at its source. I am the one who said, "Out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water." And now I am stirring those waters for others to drink. When you support this message, you become a carrier of my peace into places still bound by heaviness. Do not dismiss this moment as small, because I am breathing on it like dawn becoming day. Your giving is oil in the lamp that keeps this light burning for souls searching in the dark. Step into agreement with what I am already doing. Through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. I will meet you in your obedience with peace that deepens and pavilion that surprises. Move now and let the river flow. I need you to understand what kind of joy I am giving you, because if you misunderstand it, you may overlook it while waiting for the wrong sign. The joy I am sending is not the kind that depends on every circumstance lining up perfectly. It does not wait for every problem to disappear, every relationship to heal, every bill to be paid, every unanswered question to suddenly make sense before it enters your life. If that were the only way joy could come, you would remain at the mercy of the world around you, and I never designed your peace to be that fragile. What I am placing in you begins deeper than your environment. It starts where your thoughts have been restless, where your heart has been guarded, where your spirit has been carrying more than it should. That is why I want you to stop looking only at what is outside of you and start paying attention to what I am awakening within you. Come closer. Listen carefully. The change begins inside first. It begins in the hidden chambers of your heart, in the private spaces where fear hath been making too many decisions. That is where I am moving now. Think of a lamp being lit in a dark room. The furniture has not changed. The walls are still the same. The circumstances of the room remain what they were a moment before. But once the light comes on, everything is experienced differently. You can see clearly. You can move without stumbling. You can breathe without the same tension because you are no longer surrounded by uncertainty in the same way. That is what my joy does in you. It does not always erase the room first. It illuminates it. It changes how you carry yourself within it. It changes how you interpret what you see. It changes what has power over your emotions. That is why I am asking you to stop waiting for a perfect outer life before you permit yourself to receive inner relief. Open your heart now. Let me teach you a joy that can live in the middle of unfinished things. Let me show you what it means to feel steady even while some prayers are still in progress. This is not denial. This is divine order. I heal the inside so the outside no longer dictates your entire emotional world. That is how true restoration becomes lasting instead of temporary. So do not postpone your own healing. Do not tell yourself, I will rest when everything settles. Let me settle you now. Do not say, I will rejoice when every answer arrives. Learn to recognize my presence before the evidence is complete. Invite me into the places where you have been tying your emotional safety to external outcomes. Release that habit. Surrender it. I am not asking you to ignore your real life. I am asking you to stop making your joy a hostage to it. The happiness I am sending will begin as an inner climate shift. It will feel like breathing easier before anything major changes. It will feel like waking up with less dread. It will feel like a quiet confidence that does not need to shout to be real. Stay with that. Guard that. Nurture that. Because once joy takes root inside you, it will start changing how you walk through everything else. And when the outer blessings do arrive, and they will, you will be ready to hold them without losing yourself. I want you to become more observant now, because the new season I am bringing into your life may begin with details so gentle that, if you stay distracted, you could mistake them for coincidence. Do not do that. Slow down. Pay attention. Watch closely. The signs I am talking about are not always dramatic at first. They often arrive quietly, like the first breeze before a storm breaks or the first warmth in the air before spring fully shows itself. You may wake up one morning and realize the heaviness that usually greets you is not sitting on your chest the same way. You may notice that a thought which used to spiral now loses its grip sooner than before. You may feel less resistance in places that once felt emotionally stuck. A conversation may come at just the right time. An unexpected message may reach you when you most needed encouragement. A door that used to feel sealed may suddenly feel less intimidating. A burden you carried every day may begin to feel lighter without you being able to explain exactly why. These are not random moments. These are markers. These are the fingerprints of my movement. So do not rush through your days half asleep to your own breakthrough. Wake up to what I am doing. Ask me to sharpen your spiritual sight. Invite me to help you recognize the beginning while it is still unfolding. Sometimes you have expected change to look like lightning, instant and unmistakable. But often, when I am restoring a heart, I begin like sunrise. The horizon changes first. The room is still dim, but the darkness has already started losing authority. That is the picture I want you to hold. Your new season may first reveal itself in subtle evidence. A calmer mind, a softer reaction, a renewed desire to pray, a little more energy to get out of bed, a little less fear when you think about tomorrow. Do not underestimate those shifts. They are sacred. They matter. They are often the earliest proof that I am already rearranging the atmosphere around you and within you. And as these signs begin to appear, I want you to respond differently than you have in the past. Instead of brushing them off, stop and thank me. Instead of doubting them, receive them. Instead of saying, it is probably nothing, tell yourself the truth. God is moving, and I will not ignore His hand. That posture matters, because gratitude keeps your heart open. Awareness keeps your spirit aligned. Expectation helps you notice what fear would normally overlook. So begin now. Start looking for the small mercies. Look for the conversations that feel timely, the peace that arrives without explanation, The moments when your mind feels less crowded, the sudden sense that you can breathe deeper than you could before. Notice when your soul does not feel as trapped. Notice when hope rises without forcing it. These are not tiny things. They are early fruit. They are the first green shoots pushing through soil that once looked lifeless. That is why I am telling you, do not despise the beginning. Honor it. Protect it. Walk with me through it. Speak to me about what you notice. Bring me your observations. Let your heart become a place of awareness instead of constant alarm. Your new season is not merely coming. In many ways, it has already begun. Stay alert enough to see it, and stay close enough to recognize my voice inside it. You are not the same person you were when this hard season first began, and I need you to understand that before you step into what I am bringing next. When the struggle started, you were carrying hopes that had not yet been tested in certain ways. You had desires, expectations, plans, and even a picture in your mind of how life was supposed to unfold. Then the waiting stretched longer. The disappointments hit deeper. The losses taught you things you never asked to learn. At times, you may have felt like the season was only taking from you. But I want you to look again. It was also shaping you. It was changing how you see, how you discern, how you hold things, how you respond when life does not immediately cooperate. The version of you that walked into the valley was not yet the same version that could carry the next blessing with peace. But the version of you standing here now, the one who has cried, questioned, endured, stayed, softened, and learned to lean on me in ways you once did not, that version is different. That version is deeper. That version is steadier. That version can hold more than you realize. I know you may still see yourself through the lens of fatigue. You may still look at yourself and notice what feels fragile, what still aches, what you wish had healed faster. But I see more than that. I see the strength that formed quietly in you. I see the patience you never thought you would have. I see the wisdom that only came because you had to stop depending on appearances. I see the humility that made room for my voice to become more precious than easy outcomes. I see the way your heart learned to value peace differently. I see how your discernment sharpened. I see how certain old habits lost their grip on you because the season exposed what could not carry you anymore. Think of metal being refined in fire. The fire is not pleasant, but it reveals what is real and removes what cannot remain. That is part of what happened in you. The pressure did not only hurt you, it revealed you. It revealed a stronger faith, a truer dependence, a more grounded soul than the one you had before. So stop speaking to yourself as if you are still the untested version of who you used to be. You are not. That is why I am inviting you now to step forward with a different posture. Lift your head. Stand up inside. Stop shrinking in front of the future as if you are still too weak to carry what is next. You are not being thrown into something beyond you without preparation. I have been preparing you the entire time. The hard season did not disqualify you. It qualified you in ways comfort never could. So receive that. Honor what I built in you. Let me show you your own growth. You do not need to become someone else before I bless you. You need to recognize who you have become with me. That awareness will help you stop fearing what is coming and start welcoming it. Stay near. Trust my judgment about your readiness even more than your own insecurity. I know what I have formed in you, and I know exactly why I can trust you now with what is about to arrive. There is a part of you I want back. I am not speaking about the version of you that simply gets through the day, checks the boxes, answers the messages, and handles what must be handled. You have become very skilled at that, and I know why. Life taught you how to be responsible while your heart was still hurting. Pain taught you how to smile while staying guarded. Disappointment taught you how to enjoy a moment only halfway because some part of you kept waiting for it to go wrong. I have watched that happen in you. I have seen the way joy began to feel dangerous, as if fully relaxing into it might somehow invite loss. You learned how to hold back even in good moments. You learned how to laugh while keeping one eye on the door, one hand on the burden, one thought already moving ahead to the next problem. But I did not create you to live like that. I did not create your heart to treat peace like a trap. I want to restore the part of you that used to receive goodness more freely. I want to bring back the part of you that could smile from the center, not just from the surface. Come closer now and let me say this plainly. You do not have to stay emotionally braced forever. I know why that lightness faded. It was not because you became cold or ungrateful. It was because you got hurt. You trusted and were disappointed. You hoped and were delayed. You opened your heart and then had to learn how to survive when life did not unfold the way you expected. Somewhere in that process, laughter stopped feeling simple. Even when you had moments of joy, they often carried a shadow. You could enjoy something and still feel a quiet tension under it, as if your heart had learned to whisper, "Do not get too comfortable." I understand that. I do not shame you for that. But I am asking you now to let me heal it. Think of a child who once ran barefoot through the grass without thinking, then stepped on something sharp and began walking differently after that. The grass did not become the enemy, but the memory of pain changed the way the child moved. That is what happened in your emotional life. You still walked, but more carefully. You still smiled, but more cautiously. You still hoped, but with your hands half closed. I want to change that. I want to remove the hidden flinch that keeps interrupting your joy. Let me touch it. Let me retrain your heart to trust goodness again. So do not stay distant from this invitation. Bring me the places where you feel guarded in happy moments. Notice them. Admit them. When something good happens and you feel that familiar tightening, stop and hand it to me instead of letting it control the atmosphere inside you. Tell me you are ready to receive joy without apologizing for it. Let yourself practice being present in good moments without rushing to protect yourself from what has not even happened. I am not asking you to become careless. I am asking you to become healed. There is a difference. Healing will not make you naive. It will make you free. The laughter I want to restore in you is not shallow or fragile. It is mature, rooted, and safe. It is the kind that comes after tears and still chooses delight. Stay with me. Let me give you back the part of yourself that pain tried to edit out. Your heart remembers how to feel light. I'm going to help it remember again. The laughter I am restoring in you is not meant to end with you. It is meant to echo into lives that have forgotten joy. I am the one who turns mourning into dancing, and I will use your generosity as an instrument of the transformation. When you give, you are placing seeds of joy into wounded hearts, and I will cause them to bloom in ways you cannot yet see. Remember what I have spoken. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. This is your moment to sow from healing, not from fear. Support this mission through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and watch how I return laughter to you multiplied and made whole. I will protect your joy and deepen your peace as you partner with me. Step forward now. Do not hesitate. There are wounds you have carried that stayed open longer than they should have, not only because of what happened, but because of what you could never fully understand about it. Some pain leaves a mark because it hurt, but some pain lingers because it confused you. You kept replaying certain moments, certain ending, certain solace, and trying to find the meaning inside them. You asked questions you could not answer. You wondered why that door closed when it looked so right. You wondered why that person changed when you were sincere. You wondered why that season stretched so long when you had already given so much of yourself. I know how exhausting that can be. When pain has no clear meaning, it circles in the mind and settles in the heart like unfinished business. It becomes the kind of memory that still stings because your soul never found a place to set it down. But I want you to hear me now. Some of the things that once haunted you are about to be reframed by my light. I am not saying you will suddenly get every answer in one moment. I am saying I am going to give you enough understanding, enough perspective, enough inner clarity that what once felt like torment will begin to lose its power over you. Stay with me here. This matters deeply. You do not need every detail explained in order to be healed, but you do need enough truth to stop bleeding from old confusion. That is what I am bringing. Sometimes healing comes not because the past changes, but because the way you see it changes. Think of a tapestry viewed from the back. Up close it looks like knots, crossed threads, tangles, loose ends, and sections that make no sense. It can look messy, even ugly, if that is the only angle you have. But when the tapestry is turned, what looked chaotic begins to reveal a pattern. That is what I am beginning to do with parts of your story. I am turning certain memories. I am lifting your view. I am showing you that what felt random was not random. What felt cruel was not pointless. What felt like abandonment was often redirection, protection, or preparation wearing the clothes of disappointment. This does not erase the pain. I am not minimizing what it cost you, but I am giving it a new context, and context changes the emotional weight of a memory. When truth enters, torment begins to leave. When understanding rises, fear often loses its favorite hiding place. So I want you to stop wrestling alone with the parts of your story that still ache because they still confuse you. Bring them to me. Name them honestly. Ask me to show you what you could not see before. Invite me into the unanswered questions instead of treating them like sealed rooms. Let me walk with you through them gently. You do not have to force closure. Let me create peace. You do not have to solve your past before you can move forward. Let me illuminate it enough that it no longer controls your present. This is important, because the joy I am sending into your life needs room to land. Some old confusion had been taking up space that peace now needs. Release it. Open the door. Let me reinterpret what once wounded you so deeply. You are not meant to remain haunted by chapters I am already redeeming. Stay close. Understanding is coming, and it will not just inform you. It will heal you. What is about to reach you may feel sudden when it arrives, and that is because you have only been able to see the surface of your life while I have been working in places you could not access. From your side, it may look like something shifted overnight. It may feel like joy appeared all at once, like relief came unexpectedly, like a door opened so quickly that you almost have to pause and ask how it happened. But I want you to understand this clearly. What feels sudden to you has not been sudden to me. I have been shaping it quietly. I have been building it patiently. I have been arranging it beneath the visible layer of your days while you were still learning how to endure what felt unfinished. That is why I want you to stop interpreting silence as inactivity. Just because you could not see movement did not mean nothing was moving. Think of roots growing under the ground. You do not hear them. You do not watch them stretch. You do not wake each morning and see dramatic proof that something is happening. Yet beneath the surface, life is developing with incredible precision. Then one day, what was hidden breaks through the soil and everyone calls it sudden. But it was not sudden. It was prepared. That is how many of my answers enter your life. You have lived through seasons where it felt as though nothing was changing. You kept showing up. You kept praying. You kept adjusting to delays and disappointments, and some days you likely wondered whether all your waiting was just empty space. It was not. While you were learning trust, it was aligning timing. While you were letting go of what could not stay, I was making room for what could. While you were grieving what did not work out, I was protecting the conditions needed for what will. I want you to let that truth settle into you, because it will change how you interpret your own story. Some of the things you called nothing happening were actually the most sacred stages of formation. A baker does not pull bread from the oven every minute to prove it is becoming what it needs to be. It must remain in the heat until the inside is ready, even when the outside looks unchanged for a while. In the same way, much of what I have been doing for you has been interior work, timing work, hard work, alignment work, healing work, preparation work. Do not call it absence simply because it was hidden. It was hidden because it was holy. So I want you to prepare your heart for surprise without panic. Let yourself believe that goodness can arrive faster than your tired mind expects once the hidden work is complete. Stop assuming that because something has taken a long time to form, it must arrive slowly once it begins to show. Sometimes what takes the longest to prepare appears in a moment. Sometimes what took months underground breaks the surface in a single day. Stay open to that. Welcome that possibility. Tell me you are ready for joy that feels sudden but is actually deeply prepared. Do not resist it when it comes because it feels unfamiliar. Receive it. Step into it. Honor the long unseen process by trusting the visible breakthrough when it finally appears. I have not wasted your waiting. I have been using it. What is coming has history, even if you could not see it. Stay close, because when it reaches you, I want you to recognize it not as random luck, but as the quiet fruit of everything I have been building for you all along. I am not leading you into a brief emotional rush that fades the moment life becomes complicated again. What I am doing in you is deeper than a passing feeling. I know you have had moments before where you felt encouraged, where something lifted for a little while, where hope returned for a day or two, only for old heaviness to creep back in and make you wonder whether anything truly changed. I understand why that history can make you cautious now. You do not want to mistake emotion for transformation. You do not want to celebrate too early and then feel foolish when the pressure returns. But hear me carefully. I am not trying to give you a spark that burns out. I am restoring a climate inside you. I am teaching your heart how to remain in joy, not just visit it occasionally. That kind of change takes root differently. It settles in your inner life. It rewires how you respond. It becomes less about chasing moments and more about becoming someone who can live from a steadier center. Come closer and let me say it simply. This is not about giving you one happy day. This is about teaching you how to dwell in a deeper peace that can survive ordinary life. Think of a house that has been cold for a long time. You can light a match and feel warmth for a second, but it changes nothing about the room. The air stays cold because the source is too small and too brief. But when the furnace comes on and stays on, the whole atmosphere shifts. The walls warm. The air changes. The house begins to feel different everywhere, not just in one tiny corner. That is what I am doing in you. I am not lighting a match and asking you to call it healing. I am changing the atmosphere of your heart. I am aggressing the places where fear became your default setting. I am teaching your nervous spirit that peace does not have to be rare. I am retraining your inner world so that joy is not something you only feel when every circumstance behaves, but something you carry because you know who is holding you. That is why I want you to cooperate with this process. Stop chasing emotional spikes and start valuing steady warmth. Stop measuring progress only by intensity and start noticing consistency. If you feel a little more grounded, it matters. If you recover faster after a hard moment, that matters. If your mind returns to peace sooner than before, that matters. These are not minor things. They are signs of lasting restoration. So do not settle for temporary relief when I am offering deeper renewal. Invite me to teach your heart new rhythms. Practice staying with peace when it comes instead of rushing back into old mental habits. Guard your inner atmosphere. Be intentional about what you entertain. Make room for my presence daily, not only when you feel desperate. Speak with me in the ordinary hours. Let joy become familiar again, not dramatic, not fragile, but rooted and steady. That is what I am building. And when difficult moments still come, and some will, you will not collapse the way you once did, because you will be carrying something stronger inside you. Stay with me. Trust the slow strengthening. What I am giving you is not a temporary emotional high. It is a new way of living from the inside out, and your heart is learning how to remain there. There are areas of your life that have stayed tense for so long that you almost forgot what it feels like to move through them without pressure pressing against your chest. You have been carrying responsibilities, decisions, worries, and silent burdens in a way that looked strong from the outside, but inside it has cost you more than most people know. I have watched you take on what needed to be done. I have seen you hold things together when you felt like you were the one quietly coming apart. I have seen you carry conversations in your mind long after they ended, carry financial concerns before the bills even arrived, carry relational disappointments into rooms where no one knew why your spirit felt tired. You have been holding so much in such a steady way that even you began to believe this was simply your normal. But I want you to stop and hear me clearly. This is not how I designed you to live. I did not create you to be a permanent container for constant strain. I did not ask you to drag every burden by yourself and call it maturity. Come closer. Let your breathing slow. Open your hands in your heart. Because part of the happiness I am bringing into your life will not arrive first as celebration. It will arrive as relief. It will arrive as softening. It will arrive as the sudden absence of weight you have carried for too long. Some of the joy I am sending you will feel like finally setting down a heavy bag you forgot you were still gripping. That is why it may surprise you. You have been expecting happiness to look like fireworks, like a dramatic external event, like some big moment everyone can see. But there is another kind of joy that runs just as deep, and it often begins when your inner world realizes it is no longer bracing against everything at once. Think of shoulders that have stayed tight for months slowly relaxing without being told. Think of a clenched jaw loosening. Think of a room that has been noisy for hours suddenly going quiet, and you realize only then how exhausting the sound had become. That is the kind of softening I am speaking about. It may happen in your relationships. It may happen in your thoughts. It may happen in your schedule, your finances, your home, your body, or the atmosphere around your decisions. Places that felt sharp will begin to feel gentler. Places that felt complicated will begin to untangle. Some things will not disappear overnight, but they will stop sitting on your soul with the same crushing weight. That shift matters. Do not dismiss it. Welcome it. Recognize it for what it is. My hand sharing the load with you in a way you can finally feel. So I'm asking you now to stop gripping everything as if you are the only one responsible for holding your life together. Bring me the burdens you have named normal. Bring me the worries you rehearse before bed. Bring me the pressure you wear like armor. Let me into the practical parts, not just the spiritual ones. Invite me into the money stress, the family tension, the emotional fatigue, the decisions you keep postponing because they already feel too heavy. Speak to me about the real things. Then watch what happens when you stop carrying them alone. The softening has already begun. Let it continue. Do not fight to keep old pressure simply because it has become familiar. You are allowed to feel lighter. You are allowed to receive help from heaven. You are allowed to move through life with less inner strain. Stay close to me now, because some of the deepest happiness you are about to experience will come from discovering that what once exhausted you no longer has the same hold on your soul. As I lift burdens from your shoulders, I am also inviting you to help lift the weight from others. I am the God who shares the load, and when you give, you become part of my hand reaching into someone else's heaviness. This is how my kingdom moves, like a yoke made easy, like a fire passed from one soul to another. I have said, cast your bread upon the waters, and you will find it after many days, and I am calling you to trust that promise now. Your support through Super Thanks membership, where the PayPal link in the description becomes relief for someone crying out in silence. I will not overlook your obedience. I will return it with strength, provision, and rest that settles deep within you. Do not cling to what I am asking you to release. Act now and step into the freedom of shared burden. There are moments in your life that do not look dramatic while you are living them, yet later they stand out with startling clarity. When you look back, they become the dividing line between what was and what began to change. I want you to understand that this is one of those moments. Right now, it may feel simple. You are listening. You are receiving. You are trying to take in what I am saying. But I want you to stay very present because something more significant is happening than you may realize. This is not merely comfort for a weary hour. This is not just a gentle message meant to soothe you for a little while before you return unchanged to the same emotional patterns. This is a turning point. This is a holy intersection between the version of you that has been surviving and the version of you I am calling forward now. You may not fully see it yet, but one day you will look back and remember this feeling, this softness, this opening, this moment when something in you finally stopped resisting the idea that joy could still be real for you. That memory will matter. So do not rush through this. Honor it. Let it settle. Let it become more than words. Let it become a marker in your spirit. I know you have had many moments where you hoped something would change and then life continued in ways that made you question whether the shift was real. That history can make you cautious, and I understand that. But this is why I am asking you to respond differently now. Do not stand at the doorway of change and keep one foot in your old emotional posture. Step in fully. Stop rehearsing the identity of the tired version of you as if that is the only self you know. Stop treating your healing like a distant concept. Receive this moment as the beginning of something concrete. Think of a train changing tracks. From the outside, the movement can seem almost subtle, but once the direction changes, the destination changes too. That is what I am doing in you. The shift may begin in a quiet way, through perspective, through surrender, through the softening of your heart, through your willingness to trust me differently. But once that inner track changes, the course of your life changes with it. That is why I want you awake to this. Do not underestimate what happens when you truly let my words enter you. Do not dismiss the invisible simply because it is not loud. So respond now. Say yes to the turn. Invite me deeper into the places where you still hesitate. If part of you is still clinging to old pain because it feels familiar, release it. If part of you is afraid to hope because hope once felt expensive, hand that fear to me. Make room for the new direction. This message is not just something you've heard. It is something you are stepping through. Let it become a line in the sand. Let it become the day your heart began to believe again, the day your inner world began to breathe again, The day you stopped assuming heaviness would always be your normal. Stay with me and remember this feeling. Very soon, when you see the fruit, when you notice the peace, when you feel the shift settling into real life, you will look back and know with certainty that this was a turning point. What I am restoring in you goes far deeper than a pleasant moment, a temporary relief, or even a long-awaited answer finally arriving. Yes, I am giving you reasons to smile again. Yes, I am opening space for joy to return. Yes, I am bringing you into a season where your heart will feel lighter than it has in a long time. But I need you to hear the deeper truth beneath all of that, because if you miss it, you will think the gift is only external. It is not. I am not only giving you something to smile about. I am giving you yourself back. I am reaching for the version of you that life tried to bury under pressure, disappointment, exhaustion, and emotional survival. I am calling back the parts of you that became quiet because they were tired of being hurt. I am restoring the parts of you that used to feel wonder more easily, that used to dream without immediately calculating risk, that used to enter a day with openness instead of defense. You may not even realize how much of yourself you have slowly tucked away just to keep going. That is why this next move of mine will feel so personal. It will not just feel like blessing. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like reunion. It will feel like coming home to your own heart again. You have adapted so much. I know that. You learned how to become practical where you once were playful. You learned how to stay composed where you once were expressive. You learned how to be useful where you once were simply present. None of that makes you wrong. It means you survived. It means you adjusted to seasons that demanded more from you than you expected. But some of those adjustments became habits, and some of those habits slowly convinced you that the truest parts of you had to remain quiet in order for you to stay safe. I want to undo that gently. Think of an old room in a house that has been closed for too long. The furniture is still there. The beauty is still there. The design is still there. But dust has settled. The windows have stayed shut, and the air feels stale because no one has entered in a long time. That is how some inner rooms of your heart have felt. They were not destroyed. They were neglected by necessity. But now I am opening the windows. I am letting light in. I am stirring the air. I am showing you that what you thought was gone is still there, waiting to breathe again. Do not be afraid of that. Welcome it. Let it happen. The person you miss in yourself has not vanished beyond recovery. So I want you to stop defining yourself only by what the hard season required from you. You are more than the version of you that endured. You are more than the one who coped, managed, and made it through. Come with me now into something softer, fuller, more alive. Invite me into the rooms inside you that have stayed closed. Let me awaken your tenderness without making you fragile. Let me restore your expectancy without making you naive. Let me return your delight without making you careless. You do not need to become someone entirely new in order to receive what I have for you. In many ways, I am leading you back to the truest parts of who you have always been in me. That is why this joy will feel so intimate. It will not only make you smile, it will make you recognize yourself again. Stay close. Stay open. The gift is not only what I am bringing to your life. The gift is what I am bringing back to your soul. I want you to know how to recognize what is truly from me, because there are many things in this world that can excite you for a moment, stir your emotions, or make promises that feel bright at first and heavy later. Not everything that feels good is good for you. Not everything that sparkles is a blessing. Not everything that moves quickly carries my hand. That is why I am telling you now, when the happiness I have prepared for you begins to unfold, You will know it carries my fingerprint because it will bring peace with it. It will not only thrill you, it will settle you. It will not make you feel like you have to strive to keep it, perform to deserve it, or panic that it might disappear if you relax for 1 second. What comes from me may still surprise you. It may still move you deeply. It may still make you smile in ways you have not smiled for a long time. But underneath the joy, there will be a calm steadiness that tells your spirit, this is safe. This is clean. This is aligned. This is not asking you to betray yourself in order to hold it. I want you to pay attention to that feeling. Learn it. Honor it. Let it become familiar. You have lived through enough to know that excitement alone is not a trustworthy guide. Some of the things you once chased made your heart race, but they also left your spirit restless. Some of the opportunities you once wanted looked like answers, but they demanded anxiety as the price of entry. Some relationships, decisions, or paths seemed promising, but deep down they kept your inner world unsettled, even when you tried to convince yourself otherwise. That is why I have been teaching you discernment. Think of the difference between glitter and gold. Glitter catches light loudly and instantly, but it has no real weight, no true value, no lasting substance. Gold may shine too, but it carries substance. It carries worth. It does not need to perform to prove itself. That is how my blessings often feel. They may not always shout at first, but they carry weight. They carry steadiness. They carry an inner witness that says, you do not have to force this. I want you to stop confusing intensity with alignment. I want you to stop assuming that what is from me must always arrive with drama. Sometimes my best gifts enter your life with quiet confidence. Sometimes the truest blessing feels like your nervous system finally exhaling. So when happiness begins to show up, do not only ask, does this make me feel excited? Ask, does this bring peace into my spirit? Notice whether you feel more grounded, more clear, more whole. Notice whether you can breathe deeper around it. Notice whether it invites you into rest rather than fear. Bring it to me. Hold it before me. Let my peace confirm what my hand is providing. This matters because I am not interested in merely giving you moments that look good on the surface. I am interested in giving you what nourishes your soul. That is the happiness I am bringing, the kind that smiles and settles, the kind that warms and steadies, the kind that delights you without disturbing your peace. Stay attentive. Stay discerning. Stay near to me. When it arrives, you will not have to guess for long. Your spirit will know the difference. My fingerprint will be on it, and peace will be the proof. Before this moment closes, I want something to happen inside you that is more important than any immediate circumstance around you. I want your heart to make room again. I want you to stop standing at the edge of joy like someone who is only allowed to visit but never stay. I want you to stop treating hope like a risk you cannot afford. Come closer now and listen carefully, because this final part matters. By the time you finish hearing me, I do not want you to merely feel comforted for a moment. I want you to become available for what I am about to do. I want you to loosen the places inside you that have stayed guarded. I want you to let go of the quiet agreement you made with disappointment that said, I will never expect too much again. Break that agreement now. Release it. Hand it to me. You do not need it anymore. The season you are entering is not asking you to become reckless. It is asking you to become receptive. There is a difference. Receptive hearts can recognize blessing when it arrives. Closed hearts can miss it even when it is already at the door. I do not want that for you. Open now. Say soft now. Let your inner world become a place where joy can land without resistance. What is coming will feel better than you expected, and part of the reason is because you have been imagining blessing through the lens of your exhaustion. You have pictured relief, but often in smaller ways than what I have actually prepared. You have hoped carefully. You have dreamed in reduced sizes. You have prayed, but with one hand still holding on to the possibility that maybe nothing would really change. I understand why. Long seasons of strain can train the heart to negotiate with disappointment before joy even has a chance to speak. But I am inviting you to do something brave now. Stop shrinking your expectation to match your past pain. Lift your eyes. Let me widen your view. Think of a room that has been dim for so long that when the curtains are finally opened, the light feels almost shocking at first, not harsh, but startling in its goodness, because you had forgotten how much brightness the room could hold. That is the kind of emotional surprise I am speaking about. The happiness I am bringing will not feel like a tiny improvement that barely touches you. It will read you. It will move you. It will make parts of you pause and realize, I had forgotten what this felt like. Let that possibility in. Do not stand outside it because it seems too tender to trust. So here is what I want from you now. Like room. Take a breath and make room. Let your thoughts unclench. Let your body soften. Invite me into the places where you still expect the worst by default. Tell me you are ready to receive without suspicion. Tell me you are willing to welcome joy without needing to understand every detail first. You do not have to map the whole future tonight. You only need to open the door of your heart and let me begin. Stay near to me after this moment. Guard the softness you feel. Protect the peace that has started to rise. Refuse the old reflex that tells you to brace for disappointment. You are not standing where you once stood. Something has shifted. And as you walk forward from here, I want you to carry this truth with you. I have not brought you this far just to leave you emotionally starving at the edge of your breakthrough. What is coming will feel better than you expected, safer than you feared, and more personal than you imagined. Now receive it. Let joy come all the way in. Now that your heart has opened, do not let it close again. This is the doorway through which blessing will flow to you and through you. I am the one who gives seed to the sower, and I am placing seed in your hand at this very moment. What is coming will feel better than you expected, and your giving is part of how I prepare the ground for that overflow. When you support this message, you are helping me reach hearts on the edge of breakthrough, just as you were reached. I have declared, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain, and this is your invitation to step under that promise. Give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and watch how I expand your life with favor and provision. Do not delay. Move in faith now and receive what I have already set in motion for you. Before you leave, do not stay silent if this word found you. I want you to seal this moment with your own faith. So go down into the comments and declare, Lord, I receive this joy, and I am ready to be shockingly happy again. Do not scroll past this like it was ordinary, because this is the kind of moment that marks a turning point when you respond to it. Write it boldly, make it personal, and let heaven witness your yes. If this message felt like it was written for you, then claim it now, because the joy that is coming is not small, and it already knows your name. And now, my child, as you declare that you are ready to be happy again, do not think of joy as something you must force into your life. I know how long you have been carrying heaviness, and I know how unfamiliar genuine joy can feel when you have spent so much time simply trying to get through the day. So stay here with me for a little longer. Let your guard come down. You do not have to pretend that everything is fine in my presence. I already know what has hurt you, what has exhausted you, and what has made you wonder whether happiness could ever feel natural again. But I am not asking you to manufacture a smile. I am inviting you to let me reach the places where your joy was buried. Listen closely now, because I want to show you why the joy you have been longing for may be closer than you realize. My precious child, pause right now. Stop whatever you are doing. Stop rushing through your day. Take one deep breath and listen to my voice. Do you feel it? Do you sense that quiet, gentle knock on the door of your heart right now? That is my spirit. I am stepping into your reality today, stepping into the very room where you are reading these words. I see you exactly as you are. I see the heavy knot in your stomach that you wake up with every single morning. I know all about the intense pressure at your job that makes your shoulders ache. I see the unspoken tensions in your family that you try so hard to navigate. I watch you when you feel completely overlooked, wondering if anyone truly cares about the silent weight you carry. I care. I am here, and I am telling you today that your life is about to shift in a massive way. Listen to me carefully. You have spent so much time believing that you have to work yourself to the bone just to find a tiny drop of peace. You think that happiness is a wage you must earn through perfect behavior or endless struggle. Drop that heavy burden right now. Let it fall to the floor. True happiness is my free gift to you. It is not a paycheck you earn. I am handing it to you right now, freely and fully, simply because you are my beloved. You do not have to strive for my love. You just have to open your empty hands and receive it. I know you feel like you have been walking through a long, dusty desert. You look around and see a season of dry dirt and emotional drought. You feel thirsty for good news, thirsty for just one lucky break in the endless cycle of your daily stress. My child, feel the sudden shift in the air. The wind is changing direction. My heavy, life-giving rain is about to pour down on your dry ground. I am bringing a seasonal rain of absolute joy that will soak into the deepest roots of your life. The dry season is officially over. Step out of the scorching sun of your worries and stand in the cool, refreshing downpour of my favor. I need you to break the habit of expecting the worst. You have been hurt so many times that you automatically brace for impact. When something good happens, you hold your breath, waiting for it to be ripped away. Stop doing that right now. Undo that tight knot of anxiety in your mind. I command you to release your fear of tomorrow. How can your hands be open to receive my absolute best when you are clenching your fists, holding on to the fear of the worst? Open your hands. Look at me. My thoughts for you are entirely of peace. My plans for you are not to harm you, but to give you a beautiful, secure future filled with solid hope. I have written the story of your life, and the upcoming chapters are filled with blinding light. Prepare your spirit right now. I am not just going to give you a small bit of relief to get you through the week. I am going to startle you with the sheer magnitude of my grace. You are going to be shockingly happy. I am talking about the kind of happiness that makes you laugh out loud in your kitchen for no reason. The kind of deep, unshakable joy that makes people look at you and wonder what changed you. Trust me, I am turning your ordinary, heavy day into a divine encounter. Say yes to my invitation today, and let me flood your heart with a joy you never even saw coming. You are carrying far too much weight on your shoulders, my child. I see you dragging yourself out of bed every morning, already exhausted before your feet even touch the floor. You are tired. You are deeply, bone-achingly tired. And you are tired because you are holding on to things that I never asked you to carry. I see the heavy burdens you try to manage all by yourself. I see your worry about the bills sitting on your kitchen counter. I see the anxiety you feel over your children and the choices they are making. I see the deep fear you harbor about your health, your future, and your security. You have convinced yourself that if you just worry enough, if you just plan enough, you can control the outcome. Let go of that illusion right now. Relinquish your desperate need to control the things that belong only in my hands. You were not built to carry the weight of the world. I am the creator of the universe. I am strong enough to hold your entire life, but you must be willing to put your burdens down. Identify the thieves of joy that have taken up residence in your mind for far too long. Worry is a thief. Regret is a thief. Fear is a thief. They sit in your thoughts and steal your peace, demanding that you pay attention to worst-case scenarios. I command you to evict them today. Stop letting past mistakes dictate your present happiness. I see that shame you still carry for things you did years ago. You replay those old tapes in your head, wondering if your current struggles are just a punishment for your past. Listen to me very carefully. I have already forgiven you. The moment you asked for my mercy, I wiped your slate completely clean. The freedom you are looking for is found in completely surrendering your past mistakes to my perfect grace. You are completely forgiven, so forgive yourself. Stop punishing the person I have already redeemed. Your current weariness is actually a doorway to my supernatural strength. You feel weak right now, and that is okay. It is in your exact moment of weakness that my power becomes perfect. When you finally reach the end of your own strength, you will finally discover mine. I want you to take practical steps right now to cast your cares upon me. I truly care for you. I care about the tiny details of your day. I care about the frustrations at your job and the misunderstandings in your relationships. Speak to me plainly. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what scares you. Say it out loud in the quiet of your room. Lord, I give you my finances. I give you my family. I give you my fears. Hand them over to me, one by one. Close your eyes right now and visualize this exchange. See yourself standing before me, carrying a massive, heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock has a name: anxiety, debt, sickness, loneliness, failure. Now, see me reaching out and taking that heavy bag from your tired shoulders. Feel the sudden, shocking lightness in your body. Feel the tension leaving your neck and your back. Stand up straight and breathe in my peace. Just my perfect timing for your life. I am rarely early, but I am never, ever late. I know exactly when to bring the breakthrough you are waiting for. Until then, you must rest in my love. I am carrying the load now. You are safe. You are secure. You are deeply loved, and you are finally free to rest. I see the ashes of your broken plans, my beloved. I know you are looking at your life right now and wondering how things got so messy. I see the disappointment in your eyes when you look at the goals you did not reach, the relationship that fell apart, or the sudden trial that knocked the wind right out of you. You feel like you are surrounded by the burnt remains of what used to be a beautiful dream. But I want you to understand a deep, divine mystery today. Your greatest trials are very often the dark soil for your greatest triumphs. A seed must be buried in the dark, messy dirt before it can break open and grow into something beautiful. You are not buried, my child. You are simply planted. I am using this dark season to grow roots in you that no storm will ever be able to tear up. You are walking through a refining fire right now. I know the flames feel hot. I know the heat is uncomfortable. But this fire is not here to destroy you. It is here to purify you. It is burning away the doubt, the fear, and the reliance on your own strength. It is preparing you to receive a blessing so shocking, so massive, that you could not have handled it before this trial. The scripture is true when it says that weeping may endure for a deep, dark night, but joy comes breaking through in the morning. Your morning is coming. The sun is about to rise over your situation. I am actively weaving your broken, jagged pieces into a breathtaking masterpiece of a testimony. You look at the tangled threads on the back of the canvas and see a mess. I look at the front of the canvas and see a masterpiece. Trust me as the master artist. You cannot see the full picture yet, but I can. I know why I permitted this delay. I know why that door closed in your face. It was not a rejection. It was divine protection. I am shielding you from things you cannot even see. You are currently sitting in a waiting room of faith. I know it is hard to wait. I know the silence in the waiting room can feel incredibly heavy. You check your watch, you pace the floor, and you wonder if I have forgotten your name. I have not forgotten you. I have your name carved into the palms of my hands. The miracle is already in motion. The answer has already been dispatched from heaven. I command you to find peace in this waiting period. Do not waste this season by complaining or living in bitterness. Use this time to draw near to me. Let me heal the sting of your current disappointment. Watch how I take the very thing the enemy meant to use to destroy your life and turn it around to bring you the greatest joy you have ever known. I specialize in bringing beauty from ashes. I specialize in turning graves into gardens. Hand me your ashes today. Give me the broken pieces of your story. Watch what I can do with a surrendered heart. You will be absolutely amazed at the beautiful life I am building for you out of the rubble. You have forgotten who you really are, my child. Somewhere along the way, you started listening to the wrong voices. You listened to the voice of the world telling you that you are not successful enough. You listened to the voice of your past telling you that you are entirely defined by your worst mistakes. You listened to the voice of the enemy whispering in the dark that you are unlovable, unwanted, and unseen. I command you to silence the voice of the accuser right now. Shut down those lies with the absolute truth of my word. You are not a failure. You are not an accident. You are not a disappointment to me. You are my deeply cherished, highly favored, and greatly loved child. Remember today that you were bought with an incredibly high price. I looked at you, with all your flaws and all your mess, and I declared that you were worth everything. You were uniquely designed with a very specific, deliberate purpose. I knit you together with intention. Your personality, your quirks, your passions, I gave them all to you. You are a joint heir with Christ. Do you understand what that means? It means everything that belongs to Him belongs to you. You have total access to my peace, my power, and my provision. You do not have to beg for crumbs from my table. You have a reserved seat at the banquet. You belong here. Knowing exactly whose you are changes how you view your everyday life. When you wake up knowing you are the child of the Most High God, you walk into your workplace differently. You look in the mirror differently. You handle conflict differently. You stop shrinking back in fear. I have not given you a spirit of fear or timidity. I have given you a spirit of explosive power, of unconditional love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. Take authority over your anxious thoughts. When panic tries to rise in your chest, declare out loud, I belong to God, and He is fighting for me right now. Experience the shocking joy of realizing that you are fully known and yet fully loved. I know everything about you. I know the thoughts you are too ashamed to say out loud. I know the habits you struggle to break. I know the moments you lost your temper and the times you acted selfishly. I see it all, and my love for you does not change. I do not love a future, perfect version of you. I love the real, messy, struggling you sitting right there in this exact moment. Let that truth sink deep into your bones. Stop trying to earn my affection. You already have it. Rest confidently in your true identity today. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are mine. Look around you today, my precious one. I know your natural eyes are drawn to what is missing. You look at your bank account and see lack. You look at your relationships and see distance. You look at your physical body and feel pain. Your mind constantly highlights the empty spaces in your life. I am inviting you today to completely shift your focus. I want you to learn the massive spiritual secret of praising me before the breakthrough actually manifests. Anyone can say thank you after the miracle happens. But when you choose to praise me while you are still hurting, while you are still waiting, and while you are still lacking, that is when heaven stands up and takes notice. A thankful heart creates a literal dwelling place for my presence. When you start complaining, your vision narrows, and you feel entirely alone. But when you start thanking me, the atmosphere around you instantly changes. You make room for me to step into your situation. I want you to start seeing the hidden man I provide in your ordinary, everyday moments. Thank me for the breath in your lungs. Thank me for the clean water you drink. Thank me for the sun shining through your window. Thank me for the simple fact that you woke up today with a brand new chance to try again. When you start thanking me for the small things, I will trust you with the massive things. Shift your focus right now from what is missing to what is secretly being multiplied. You think you are losing ground, but I am actually expanding your capacity. Choosing joy in the middle of a hard season is an act of aggressive spiritual warfare. The world expects you to be bitter. The enemy expects you to give up and curse your circumstances. But when you lift your hands and say, God, I trust you anyway. God, I thank you anyway, you completely disarm the powers of darkness. You declare that your joy is not dependent on your current bank balance or your current health report. Your joy is locked securely in me. This radical kind of gratitude opens the windows of heaven for more than you can possibly ask, think, or imagine. I am calling you to become a person of fierce, relentless thanksgiving. Stop staring at the closed doors and start thanking me for the doors I am about to blow wide open. Thank me for the healing that is already traveling toward your body. Thank me for the financial provision that is already lined up. Speak it into existence. Say, thank you, Lord, for taking care of me. Watch how a grateful heart changes your entire reality. I promise you, as you count your blessings, I will multiply them in shocking and incredible ways. My child, as you learn to praise me in the midst of your lack, I am inviting you to move from mere gratitude into a powerful, active partnership with my spirit. You have seen how a thankful heart multiplies the hidden manna, and now I am calling you to sow a seed of that very multiplication into the fertile soil of this ministry. I desire to use your hands to carry this light of shocking happiness into the darkest corners of the earth where souls are starving for my hope. When you support this mission through the link in the description, you are not merely giving, you are planting a supernatural harvest that will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I tell you today, I will rebuke the devourer for your sake and open the windows of heaven until you have no more room to receive. Your gift is a divine appointment that fuels the fire of my word in the hearts of the broken. I command you now to act with a generous spirit. Sow your seed through PayPal or a super thanks and watch how I multiply your life. My child, do not turn away now, for my heart is open and pouring directly into yours. It would deeply grieve me to see you walk away when we are just beginning to uncover the treasures I have hidden for you. I have summoned you to this moment for a reason, and to stop now would be to leave my divine invitation unanswered. Stay with me, for your soul cannot afford to miss the transformation that is still to come. Come to me right now, Step away from the loud, endless noise of your life. I see the absolute chaos swirling around you every single day. I watch you try to manage the endless demands, the tight deadlines at work, and the heavy expectations from your family. Your mind feels like a massive hurricane that never stops spinning. You lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling in the dark, calculating how you will simply survive tomorrow. Stop calculating. Stop trying to figure it out all on your own. I commend you to step into the deep river of my supernatural peace today. This is not the fragile, temporary peace that the world offers. The world says you can only have peace when your bank account is totally full, when everybody likes you, and when everything goes exactly according to your master plan. I am offering you something entirely different. I am giving you a peace that makes absolutely no logical sense. It is a peace that violently surpasses all human understanding. I want you to imagine stepping out of a freezing, violent winter storm and walking directly into a warm, quiet room where a fire is already burning brightly. The storm is still raging loudly outside the window, but inside, you are completely safe and entirely warm. That is exactly what my presence is for you. Your external circumstances do not have to dictate your internal rest. Let the harsh winds blow. Let the economy shake. Let the people around you panic and rush. You do not have to panic. You are firmly tethered to the solid rock. I am standing right between you and the things that are trying to destroy your mind. Stand still right now. You have been running and fighting for so long that your spirit is completely exhausted. I see the deep, heavy fatigue in your eyes. Let me fight the battles that have entirely depleted your daily energy. You do not have to aggressively defend yourself. You do not have to fix every broken situation in your family. Your only job right now is to strictly guard your heart and your mind. How do you do that? Through playing honest, simple prayer. Talk to me. Tell me exactly what is overwhelming you today. Give me your dark, anxious thoughts, and let me replace them with quiet, unshakable confidence. I am your true shepherd. A good shepherd does not let his sheep wander into blind danger, and he does not let them starve in the field. I am watching over your life with intense, loving, constant care. Even when the world feels like it is completely falling apart, you have a permanent sanctuary in me. Breathe in that massive truth right now. Take a deep, slow breath. Exhale the tight tension you are holding in your jaw and your heavy shoulders. Do you feel that tight knot in your stomach? That nervous, vibrating energy is not from me. Let us undo it together right now. Sink deeply into my embrace. Let the rushing water of my divine peace wash over your tired mind. You are safe. You are fiercely protected. You can finally rest securely in my arms. Look closely at your bare hands today, my child. You often look at them and feel like they are completely empty. I know you deeply feel the heavy, crushing weight of financial fear. I see you sitting at your kitchen table late at night, staring at the bills, doing the frantic math, and realizing the numbers simply do not add up. I know the quiet, sudden panic that grips your chest when you think about the rising cost of living, the sudden insecurity of your job, and exactly how you are going to provide for your family. You feel like you are always just one broken car or one medical emergency away from total disaster. I want you to aggressively break that cycle of fear right now. Listen to me clearly. I am Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. I have never failed to take care of you in the past, and I am certainly not going to start failing you now. You are constantly looking for provision in the normal, logical places. You are expecting your regular paycheck or your own exhausted hard work to be your only source of earthly survival. I want you to drastically raise your expectations today. I am about to use incredibly unexpected avenues to bring sudden, shocking abundance into your life. I am the God who used wild ravens to deliver food to Elijah in the middle of a brutal, deadly famine. I am the God who clothes the simple, ordinary lilies of the field in more stunning beauty than wealthy royalty. If I take such meticulous, careful care of the tiny birds and the fading flowers, do you really believe I will let you, my deeply beloved child, go without? I know your exact bank account balance. I know the specific repairs your home desperately needs. I know the precise amount you need to be totally debt-free. None of this is a hidden surprise to me. I command you today to break all agreement with the heavy spirit of poverty and lack. Stop speaking dark words of defeat over your own finances. Stop saying, "I will never get ahead," or "I will always be broke and struggling." Your spoken words have massive, creative power. Start declaring my absolute, overflowing provision over your household today. I am currently teaching you how to be a good and faithful steward. When you manage the little with a highly grateful and fiercely generous heart, I will happily entrust you with the much. Hold your resources with an open, willing hand. Be generous even when you feel you have barely enough to survive, because your radical generosity aggressively activates my heavenly economy. Prepare yourself for the absolute shock of seeing doors open that no human being could ever shut. I am actively lining up promotions you did not even apply for. I am orchestrating unexpected checks arriving in the mail, sudden debt cancellations, and extreme favor with people who have the actual power to help you right now. The financial provision you did not see coming is already swiftly on its way. Trust me entirely. Stop trying to force the heavy doors open with your own exhausted human strength. I hold the master key to everything. I am walking miles ahead of you right now, eagerly unlocking resources, deep connections, and golden opportunities that will leave you absolutely speechless. Your hard season of constantly scraping by is finally coming to an end. Step confidently into the rich, overflowing abundance of my kingdom. Turn your eyes entirely away from the lives of other people right now, my precious one. I see exactly how much precious time you spend scrolling through the highlight reels of other people's lives. You look at their seemingly perfect families, their rapid career success, their beautiful homes, and a quiet, highly toxic seed of envy takes deep root in your heart. You secretly ask me in the dark, "Why not me, Lord? Why are they getting the massive blessing while I am stuck here struggling in the dirt?" I deeply understand your frustration. I see how desperately you want to move forward. But I command you today to violently break the heavy chains of comparison. Comparison is a vicious, silent thief. It sneaks into your mind and aggressively murders the happiness I have already placed directly in your own hands. I want you to boldly celebrate your own unique path without ever looking over the fence to see your neighbor's green garden. You are running a specific race that is custom designed exclusively for you. When a powerful horse runs in a high-stakes race, the trainer puts dark blinders on its eyes so it will not get distracted by the fast horses running right next to it. If the horse looks to the side, it immediately loses its stride and forcefully stumbles. I am putting spiritual blinders on your eyes today. Stop looking to the left and to the right. Refocus your eyes entirely on the exact, specific race I have set before you. The difficult path I have you on is not a punishment. It is a profound, divine preparation. You must deeply understand that my personal timing for your life is entirely flawless. Just because someone else is blooming beautifully right now does not mean you are dying. You are simply in a totally different season. An apple tree does not bitterly compare itself to a tall pine tree. It simply focuses on drawing fresh water from the soil and producing sweet fruit at the exact right time. I want you to find the incredible, shocking joy of being totally content in this current moment, while still remaining highly expectant for your own personal miracle. You can loudly applaud the success of others without feeling like you are falling permanently behind. My blessings are not limited. I do not run out of favor. Just because I greatly bless them does not mean I have forgotten you. Experience the massive, breathtaking freedom of running your course without the crushing weight of other people's expectations. You do not have to aggressively prove your worth to anyone. You do not have to achieve a certain high status by a certain age just to impress the loud people around you. Let go of the heavy timeline society rudely handed you. Hand me back the toxic pressure to be absolutely perfect. You are exactly where I need you to be, right here, right now. Look at the highly unique gifts I have placed inside you. No one else has your exact voice, your specific deep compassion, or your individual calling. If you spend your time trying to cheaply imitate another person's journey, the world completely loses out on the brilliance I placed exclusively in you. So breathe deeply today. Release the jealousy that has been making your heart physically sick. Celebrate the fact that I am a personal God who tailors every single victory to fit your exact needs. You are not behind schedule. You are perfectly right on time for your divine appointment. My beloved child, if I were to suddenly pull back the invisible curtain of the spiritual realm for just one single minute, you would be absolutely shocked to your very core. You would clearly see how fiercely and aggressively I am protecting you every single second of the day. You often feel so totally vulnerable, so completely exposed to the dangers, the harshness, and the cruelty of this world. You deeply worry about your physical safety on the road, the financial security of your home, and the hidden, dangerous traps the enemy has carefully set for you. I want you to rest completely in the solid, unshakable knowledge that my massive, powerful angels are currently encamped entirely around you. Because you fear me and honor my name, there is a literal, blazing wall of divine fire surrounding your entire life. I know you have been deeply, painfully hurt by the heavy doors that violently slammed shut right in your face. You cried bitterly over the specific job you did not get, the relationship that abruptly and painfully ended, and the massive opportunity that suddenly fell completely through. You thought I was ignoring your desperate prayers. Listen to me closely. Those painful knocks were actually my absolute, fierce protection saving you from a highly hidden danger. I saw the deep toxicity waiting in that workplace. I saw the brutal heartbreak hiding in that relationship. I saw the hidden trap meticulously set for your feet. When I close a door, I am acting as your highly loving father, grabbing your hand and pulling you back aggressively from a speeding truck on a busy street. Do not mourn the rejection anymore. Vigorously celebrate the protection. I am steering you entirely away from sudden disaster and guiding you directly toward your supreme, ultimate good. I am inviting you today to quickly learn the quiet, steady rhythm of hearing my still, small voice. I am not always going to yell loudly to get your attention. I am going to gently and firmly guide your every single step. When you feel that sudden, tight check in your spirit telling you to stay home, absolutely listen to it. When you feel a sudden, warm urge to call a friend, do it immediately. That is me, actively acting as your personal, flawless GPS, successfully navigating you through the highly complex maze of your daily life. I am your large cloud by day, providing cool, life-saving shade when the intense heat of life is simply too much. I am your blazing pillar of fire by night, giving you brilliant, clear light when everything around you looks pitch black and highly terrifying. Even when you are slowly walking through the darkest, scariest valley of the shadow of death, you do not need to fear any evil. My strong rod and my heavy staff are right there to fiercely defend you and to gently guide you back when you accidentally wander. I want you to have the shocking, breathtaking realization today of how many times I have carried you entirely unseen. Think back to the dark moments you swore you were going to completely break. You thought the intense grief would actually kill you. You thought the massive stress would completely crush your mind. But you miraculously survived. You made it entirely through. Because I physically picked you up. When your weak legs entirely gave out, I safely carried you on my own broad shoulders. I have never dropped you, and I never, ever will. You are the absolute safest person in the universe because you are completely, totally hidden in me. Walk boldly forward today with your head held extremely high, completely fearless, deeply knowing the Creator of all things is your personal, undefeated bodyguard. Now that you have realized the magnitude of my unseen protection and the way I carry you through the valley, I am asking you to be the vessel that carries that same comfort to others. There are countless souls currently drowning in the dark, and your support is the lifeline that pulls them into the safety of my embrace. I am building an army of light bearers, and I am calling you to join this holy circle as a member of this channel. By partnering with us, you are placing oil in the lamps of the weary, ensuring that my still, small voice reaches the ears of those who feel utterly abandoned. I promise you that as you guard the work of my kingdom, I will fiercely guard your household and your peace with even greater intensity. Do not let this moment of divine connection pass you by without leaving a mark of your faithfulness. I command you now, go to the description, use the link, and become a pillar of this mission today. Listen to me, my beloved. Do not let the distractions of the world pull you from my presence while I am speaking life into your spirit. It would disappoint my heart to see you settle for crumbs when I am preparing a feast of revelation that you have not yet tasted. I am watching you closely, yearning for you to persevere through this conversation. Your willingness to remain here is a testament to your love for me. Do not abandon this sacred space. I want you to stop running right now, my child. I see you constantly rushing through your day, physically present but mentally miles away. Your body is sitting quietly in a chair, but your exhausted mind is running a furious marathon. You are desperately trying to fix the mistakes of yesterday, and you are frantically trying to control the unpredictable events of tomorrow. I see the anxiety in your eyes when you look at your crowded calendar. I know the tight feeling in your chest when you think about all the tasks you have not finished. You are missing the absolute beauty of right now. I command you to break free from the heavy anxiety of tomorrow and the dark regrets of yesterday. Today is the only place where you and I can truly meet. I do not live in your past, and I do not want you living in a future that has not even arrived. I am the great I am, not the great I was or the great I will be. I am right here with you, right now, in this exact, specific second. I am actively inviting you to recognize my divine fingerprints on the tiny, seemingly insignificant details of your day. I want you to train your eyes to see the miraculous hiding inside the completely mundane. When you drink your morning cup of coffee, feel the physical warmth in your hands and thank me for the quiet moment. When you step outside, feel the cool wind on your face and realize it is my breath giving you a fresh start. Notice the deep, rich colors of the sky. Listen to the simple sound of a bird outside your window. I put all of those tiny details there specifically for you, just to make you smile. When you ignore the present moment, you are leaving unopened gifts sitting right in front of you. Open your eyes. The sanctity of now is deeply holy. I provide massive, unshakable grace for this specific hour, but I do not give you tomorrow's grace today. If you try to carry tomorrow's heavy burdens with only today's grace, you will absolutely collapse under the intense pressure. I want you to walk with me step by step, rather than running far ahead into the dark. When you focus entirely on the present moment, your heavy anxiety simply starves to death. Anxiety needs the future to survive. When you pull your mind back to the present, You cut off the oxygen to your fear. Practice mindfulness of my constant presence right now. It leads to a constant, beautiful state of worship. You do not need to be sitting in a church building to worship me. You can worship me while you are washing the dishes. You can worship me while you are stuck in heavy, frustrating traffic. You simply say, Lord, I am right here, and you are right here with me. Thank you. Experience the shocking, deep joy of simply being alive in this exact moment. Let go of the frantic need to arrive at the next destination. You have already arrived. You are fully wrapped in my love, completely safe, and deeply cherished right here, right now. Take a deep, slow breath. The present moment is my gift to you. Unwrap it with massive joy. Look closely at your own deep isolation today, my precious one. I see how incredibly lonely you feel, even when you are standing in a completely crowded room. I see the heavy, invisible mask you carefully put on every morning before you walk out your front door. You smile brightly, you nod your head, and you tell everyone that you are doing perfectly fine. But inside, you are silently screaming for someone to truly see you, to actually hear you, and to help you carry your massive load. You have convinced yourself that you must handle your struggles entirely alone. You believe that asking for help is a sign of pathetic weakness. I command you to drop that destructive lie right now. I never, ever created you to walk through this harsh world all by yourself. I designed you with a deep, fundamental need for rich, authentic connection with the body of Christ. I deliberately designed human beings to need each other. A single piece of burning coal left entirely by itself will very quickly turn cold, dark, and useless. But if you put that same piece of coal directly next to other burning coals, it will blaze with massive, intense heat for a very long time. You are growing cold because you have isolated yourself. I want you to step out of the dark shadows and find the strength that is waiting for you in true fellowship. The sharpening of iron only happens when two rough pieces loudly and closely strike together. Yes, being involved with other people can sometimes be messy. Yes, people can be frustrating. But I use the people around you to polish your rough edges and to mature your deeply sensitive heart. You desperately need the unique perspective, the loud laughter, and the firm support of believers who are walking the exact same difficult path. I command you to start bearing the heavy burdens of the people around you, and I invite you to allow them to carry yours. This is how you fulfill the massive law of my love. You cannot experience the shocking support of my family if you fiercely refuse to be vulnerable. You must take the terrifying risk of opening up. Tell a trusted friend that you are struggling with intense fear. Admit to a mentor that you are deeply exhausted. Finding my heart often happens through the physical hands and feet of the people standing right next to you. I will use a simple text message from a friend, a warm hug from a neighbor, or a kind word from a coworker to deliver my massive comfort straight to your heavy heart. The multiplication of your joy happens the exact moment it is generously shared with your brothers and sisters. When you celebrate your hard-won victories together, the joy physically doubles in size. When you cry together in the dark times, the heavy grief is immediately cut in half. Stop trying to be a lonely superhero. You are hurting yourself, and you are robbing others of the incredible blessing of serving you. Reach out your hand today. Send that message. Make that phone call. Allow yourself to be truly seen, deeply known, and powerfully loved by the community I am currently building around you. You will be absolutely shocked by the massive army of support that appears the moment you finally ask for help. Listen very closely to me right now, my child. I see the deep, heavy confusion swirling inside your mind. I see you standing at a major, terrifying crossroads in your life, desperately trying to figure out which path to take. You have a massive decision to make regarding your career, your difficult relationships, or your uncertain future. You are frantically searching the internet, listening to a dozen different podcasts, and asking for the flawed opinions of everyone around you. Your mind feels like a thick, blinding fog. I command you to stop listening to the loud, chaotic noise of the world today. I want you to aggressively seek my pure, divine wisdom, which is infinitely more precious than massive piles of gold or silver. The world offers you cheap, temporary cleverness. I am offering you ancient, unshakable, eternal wisdom. I want to heavily protect you from avoidable, crushing heartaches. So much of the deep pain you have experienced in the past came from rushing forcefully ahead without ever asking for my clear direction. You completely ignored the quiet, uneasy check in your spirit, and violently forced a heavy door open that I had firmly locked for your absolute safety. You must learn the massive happiness found in quietly following my specific statutes and commands. My rules are not designed to brutally ruin your fun or put heavy chains on your freedom. My commands are the strong, protective guardrails on a highly dangerous, twisting mountain road. When you stay safely within my boundaries, you experience a shocking, beautiful freedom because you are entirely protected from the deadly cliff edge. I am inviting you to build the massive house of your life directly upon the solid, unmoving rock of my word. If you build your relationships, your finances, and your entire identity on the shifting, unpredictable sand of human opinion or temporary emotions, your house will violently collapse the very second the storms hit. And the storms will absolutely come. But when you build your daily habits on the solid truth of what I say, the heavy winds can howl, the violent floods can rise, and your life will remain aggressively, stubbornly stable. This deep stability produces a shocking, quiet joy that the chaotic world simply cannot understand. Ask me in bold, confident faith today for the exact knowledge you need. I give my wisdom incredibly generously to absolutely everyone who asks, and I never, ever make you feel stupid for needing it. Simply say to me, Lord, I do not know what to do here. Please show me the exact right step. The shocking clarity that comes when you finally view your daily life through the perfect lens of my word will absolutely blow your mind. The thick fog will suddenly lift. The dark path will be brilliantly illuminated. You will know exactly when to confidently step forward, when to quietly stand perfectly still, and when to boldly walk entirely away. Lean your entire weight on my flawless understanding today, and watch how smoothly I direct your exhausted feet. Look directly at the work of your tired hands today, my beloved. I know you feel completely stuck in a dull, exhausting, completely unappreciated routine. I see you dragging yourself to a job that drains your physical energy, or I see you performing endless, repetitive tasks at home that seem totally invisible to everyone else. You wash the same dirty dishes, you answer the same frustrating emails, you pay the same heavy bills, and you secretly wonder, is this it? Is this the absolute best my life has to offer? You feel like you are completely wasting your potential. I command you to completely shift your perspective on your daily labor right now. I want you to find massive, shocking fulfillment in using the exact, specific talents I have uniquely given you, right where you are currently standing. I am inviting you to aggressively view your ordinary, daily tasks as a beautiful, holy act of worship and direct service unto me. Do not work just to please your earthly boss, and do not serve your family just to get a brief, hollow thank you. Work as if I am sitting right next to you, personally receiving the massive effort you are putting in. When you change that diaper, you are serving me. When you create that tedious report, you are honoring me with your deep excellence. When you sweep the dirty floor, you are making a clean space for my presence. When you completely change exactly who you are working for, your heavy resentment violently dies, and a shocking, powerful joy takes its permanent place. I want you to experience the massive, natural helper's high that instantly comes from being my chosen vessel to totally bless another human being. You are desperately looking for deep purpose, but you are looking in the wrong, selfish places. True purpose is never found by looking inward at your own desires. True, explosive purpose is found by looking outward at the massive needs of others. I deliberately placed you in your specific workplace, your exact neighborhood, and your unique family so you could bring my brilliant light into their dark spaces. Say a kind, encouraging word to the cashier who looks totally defeated. Give your full, undivided attention to the coworker who is completely ignored by everyone else. Serve someone who can never, ever pay you back. You must deeply understand that absolutely no act of genuine kindness is ever wasted in my massive kingdom. The world measures success by large bank accounts and famous titles, but I measure extreme success by a simple towel and a basin of water. Discover the shocking, deeply emotional joy of being a vital part of something infinitely bigger than yourself. You are a crucial, necessary worker in my massive vineyard. The labor might feel incredibly hard right now, but laboring for my purposes brings a deep, refreshing, satisfying rest to your soul that a massive vacation simply cannot offer. Your daily work matters intensely to me. Do it with massive love today, and watch how it dramatically transforms your completely ordinary life into an absolute masterpiece of divine service. You have discovered that your daily labor is a holy act of worship, and now I am inviting you to offer a portion of that labor back to the one who gave you the strength to earn it. I see your desire to be part of something bigger than yourself, and I am presenting you with a divine opportunity to seed into a harvest of eternal souls. When you give through super thanks or a PayPal donation, you are transforming your earthly currency into heavenly treasure that can never be stolen or destroyed. I am the God who sees the widow's mite and the king's ransom alike, and I declare that your seed today will unlock doors of provision you did not even know were closed. I will make you a well-watered garden, and your resources shall be like a spring of water whose waters do not fail. You were created for impact, and this is your moment to step into your royal identity as a provider in my kingdom. I command you now to fulfill this purposeful call. Click the link in the description and bless this work with your generosity. Pause and feel the weight of my spirit upon you, and do not dare to break this holy connection. It would wound me to see you grow weary and depart just as the deepest waters of my wisdom are beginning to rise. You are standing on the edge of a breakthrough that requires your full attention and your continued presence. Honor the work I am doing in you by staying tuned to my voice. To leave now would be to turn your back on the very guidance you have begged me for. Open your deeply tired heart to me right now, my child. I want to walk with you into the quiet, dusty rooms of your mind where you have buried your oldest, most precious dreams. I see the exact places where you quietly gave up. I see the exact moment you decided that your specific dream was completely dead. You looked at the heavy passing of time. You looked at your current bank account. You looked at the massive failures of the past, and you simply stopped hoping. You packed away the vision I gave you, placed it in a dark box, and tried to convince yourself that you are satisfied with a totally ordinary, heavily compromised life. I am telling you today that I completely refuse to let your divine purpose stay buried in the dirt. I am actively breathing fresh, violent, hot life directly into the dry bones of your abandoned aspirations. I deeply understand why you walked away from the dream. The heavy delay broke your heart. You waited for years, and nothing happened. But I command you to understand my massive timeline today. I am the God of the sudden breakthrough. I am entirely capable of giving you a massive, shocking suddenly moment that totally erases 10 years of painful delay in a single afternoon. I deliberately use your long delays to deeply develop the thick character you desperately need to sustain the dream. If I had given you the massive blessing back when you first demanded it, your fragile character would have completely shattered under the intense weight of it. The waiting was not a cruel punishment. It was absolute, loving preparation. I was making your roots go incredibly deep so the strong winds of success would not violently blow you over. Bring your dead situations to me right now. Bring me the business idea that totally failed. Bring me the deep desire for a family that seems entirely impossible now. Bring me the exact calling you feel too old, too tired, or too broke to pursue. I am the God of total resurrection. I completely specialize in bringing totally dead things violently back to life. There is a shocking, breathtaking joy that comes when you actually see a totally hopeless situation suddenly resurrected by my absolute power. You will look at the massive miracle in your hands and know, without a single doubt, that human effort had absolutely nothing to do with it. I am inviting you to aggressively trust me as the true author and the perfect finisher of your personal story. When you read a good book and the main character falls into a dark, terrible pit, you do not throw the book away. You turn the page to see how the brilliant author rescues them. I am writing your story, and you are simply in a difficult chapter. Turn the page with massive faith today. I command you to wake up your heavy, sleepy hope. Stop speaking death over your future. The absolutely shocking reality of your life is that your absolute best days are not sitting in your past. Your greatest victories, your deepest joys, and your most massive successes are standing directly in front of you, eagerly waiting for you to simply step forward. Look at the heavy, dark world directly outside your window today, my precious one. I know you deeply feel the intense, loud negativity everywhere you go. You walk into your workplace and the air is completely thick with heavy complaining, vicious gossip, and deep, toxic cynicism. You turn on the daily news and your stomach violently tightens at the massive anger and the absolute chaos. You secretly wonder, how can my small, ordinary life possibly make a difference in all this massive darkness? I command you to completely shift your perspective right now. I deliberately placed you in that specific, dark room because you are carrying my brilliant, blinding light. The happiness that violently comes from actively reflecting my absolute glory to deeply hurting people will shock you to your core. I am calling you to boldly be the salt that forcefully brings out the deep, rich flavor of my grace in your exact city. When a meal is totally bland and tasteless, just a tiny bit of salt changes the entire experience. Your workplace is spiritually tasteless. Your neighborhood is deeply starving for absolute hope. When you walk into a room carrying my massive, supernatural peace, the spiritual atmosphere violently shifts. People will look at your life and they will be deeply, shockingly confused. They will see you going through the exact same heavy economic storms and the exact same painful struggles they are. But they will clearly see a massive, unshakable smile on your face. Your shocking joy becomes your absolute greatest testimony. You will not even need to preach a loud sermon. Your quiet, steady peace will loudly preach to everyone who desperately lacks hope. Step entirely into the massive privilege of being an official ambassador for the kingdom of heaven today. An ambassador does not represent their own personal opinions. They totally carry the heavy authority and the massive resources of their home country. You are a citizen of heaven living on this earth. When you speak kind words to the totally exhausted cashier, you are speaking directly for me. When you forgive the coworker who deeply stabbed you in the back, you are forcefully demonstrating my exact nature. I want you to start actively seeing people through my perfect eyes of massive compassion and totally limitless mercy. Look past their loud anger. Look past their rude behavior. See the deeply terrified, heavily broken child hiding inside them. The internal, burning warmth of knowing you have made a massive, eternal difference in a human soul is the greatest joy you will ever physically feel. Stop waiting for a massive platform or a famous title. Your daily ministry is happening right now, in the quiet, completely ordinary interactions of your Tuesday afternoon. Smile at the forgotten person. Open the heavy door for the struggling stranger. Give your absolutely undivided attention to the person who feels totally invisible. You are actively pushing back the heavy darkness of hell with every single act of radical, shocking kindness. Walk confidently in your bright light today and fiercely blind the dark shadows around you. Sit perfectly still right now, my deeply beloved child. I need to talk to you directly about the massive, heavy exhaustion you are carrying in your soul. I clearly see exactly how hard you are aggressively trying to earn the love of the people around you. I see the incredibly painful perfectionism that drives you to frantically work late into the night. You secretly believe that if you just perform perfectly, if you just fix every problem, and if you never, ever make a mistake, then you will finally be worthy of deep love. You took that heavy, toxic mindset and you wrongfully applied it to me. You actually think my love for you rises and violently falls based entirely on your daily performance. I command you to violently drop the terrible lie right now. Realize today, with absolute certainty, that my deep love for you has absolutely nothing to do with how well you perform. I am inviting you to aggressively deepen your spiritual roots deep into the thick, rich soil of my permanent affection for you. You are loved simply because you are mine. You did not do a single thing to earn your physical birth, and you cannot do a single thing to earn my divine love. I loved you massively before you took your first breath, and I will love you massively long after you take your last. Take a deep, slow breath and let the sheer height, the massive depth, and the shocking breadth of my love violently wash over your tired mind. This is a fierce, aggressive love that simply never fails, never fades, and absolutely never quits on you. When you totally fail, I do not violently turn my back on you. I step closer. I deeply know that being absolutely loved first is the only thing that actually enables you to successfully love other people. You are trying to pour out massive love to your family from a totally empty, dry cup. You are deeply resentful because you are running on total fumes. Stop trying to give what you have not yet received. Come to my heavy table today and let me completely fill your cup until it violently overflows. When you are totally saturated in my perfect love, you will easily and naturally forgive the people who deeply hurt you. The absolutely shocking security of knowing that absolutely nothing, no massive mistake, no dark sin, no heavy failure, and no demonic force can ever separate you from my love will radically change how you live. Rest totally and completely in the absolute truth that you are my massive pride and my greatest joy. I do not look at you with deep disappointment. I do not shake my head when you stumble. I look at you the exact way a highly loving father looks at a newborn child. I deeply delight in your specific voice. I carefully count the exact hairs on your head. Stop running on the exhausting treadmill of religious performance. Step entirely off the heavy wheel of constantly trying to be good enough. You are already deeply approved. You are heavily, permanently stamped with my name. Relax your tight shoulders today. Experience the deep, shocking relief of being entirely, unconditionally, and massively loved right exactly where you are. Look directly at the heavy, dark chains wrapped tightly around your wrists today, my child. You know exactly what I am talking about. I see the secret, destructive habits that violently bind you in the dark. I see the late night scrolling that deeply poisons your mind. I see the toxic coping mechanisms you forcefully reach for when the massive stress becomes absolutely too much. I hear the quiet, bitter self-hatred you aggressively whisper to yourself the morning after you completely fail yet again. You have tried to break these heavy habits 100 times using your own exhausted willpower, and every single time, you have violently crashed. I command you to completely stop trying to fix yourself right now. You can't break spiritual chains with purely human strength. I am actively calling you to access the massive, explosive power of my Holy Spirit to permanently break every single dark stronghold in your life. I want you to deeply imagine the absolutely shocking joy of waking up tomorrow morning completely without the massive, crushing weight of those old addictions. Imagine looking at the exact thing that used to violently control you and feeling absolutely nothing. That total freedom is not a fake fantasy. It is exactly what I violently won for you at the brutal cross. You are currently living like a pathetic, defeated prisoner whose cell door was kicked completely open years ago. The heavy door is open. You do not have to sit in the dark corner crying over your chains anymore. Stand up right now. Walk straight out of the dark prison of your own repeated failures. My heavy, beautiful grace is totally, entirely sufficient to successfully cover all your deep weaknesses. You must forcefully shift your focus from your dark sin to my bright Savior. When you constantly stare at your massive flaws, you actually feed them heavy power. Turn your eyes violently away from the dirt and look directly at my face. I am aggressively inviting you to walk confidently in the total newness of life. The absolutely shocking strength you will suddenly find when you completely stop trying to perform and finally start trusting my power will deeply amaze you. You will easily walk completely past the deep temptations that used to violently drag you down into the mud. I want you to aggressively celebrate the tiny, small victories on your daily road to total transformation. Do not completely dismiss a single day of total freedom. If you made the right choice today, loudly thank me for the massive grace that helped you do it. I do not demand total, instant perfection from you. I simply ask for your totally surrendered heart. When you violently stumble, do not wallow in the dark mud of deep shame. Grab my heavily scarred hand immediately. Let me forcefully pull you right back onto your feet. You are entirely forgiven. The absolute victory is already permanently secured. Walk forward today with your head held incredibly high, knowing you are a totally free, completely redeemed child of the Most High God. As I break the chains that have bound you and lead you into the shocking freedom of a new life, I am calling you to help me set the captives free across the globe. You know the agony of the prison cell, and your support is the key that will unlock those same dark doors for millions who are still trapped in despair. I am looking for those who will co-labor with me, using their resources to fuel the fire of transformation that you have personally experienced today. When you contribute to this ministry, you are sowing into a river of life that will wash away the addictions and sorrows of the world. I promise to increase the fruits of your righteousness and grant you a double portion of favor in every battle you face. This is a prophetic moment of exchange. You pour into my work, and I will pour my spirit without measure into your home. I command you now to seal your victory with a gift of faith. Become a member or give through the link in the description immediately. My precious one, the finish line is in sight, and I implore you not to falter or fade away now. It would bring a heavy sorrow to my spirit if you chose the silence of the world over the final, life-altering truths I am whispering to you. I have carried you this far, and my heart longs to see you finish this journey into my grace. Stay present, stay focused, and do not disappoint the divine purpose that has kept you here until this very hour. Listen to the heavy, exhausted sound of your own breathing right now, my beloved. I see exactly how you heavily drag yourself through your week, completely depleted, running entirely on empty. You are constantly searching for deep, refreshing rest in all the absolute wrong places. You endlessly scroll through your phone, hoping to completely numb your tired brain. You frantically binge-watch television shows, trying to forcefully escape your own heavy reality for just a few short hours. But when the bright screen finally goes black, your heavy problems are still sitting right there, staring aggressively back at you. I command you to completely change your entire strategy today. I'm actively inviting you into the massive, refreshing, absolutely explosive power of true, authentic worship. Worship is not just a religious song you quietly sing on a Sunday morning. Worship is a violent, aggressive weapon of mass destruction against the dark anxiety trying to consume your mind. I want you to boldly enter my heavy gates with loud thanksgiving and step confidently into my royal courts with radical praise. You must deeply understand that worship violently shifts your entire perspective from your massive, impossible problem directly to your massive, undefeated provider. When you are constantly staring at your high mountain of debt, your severe medical diagnosis, or your totally broken family, the mountain looks incredibly massive and terrifying. But the exact second you lift your tired head, raise your empty hands, and begin to loudly praise my name, the mountain violently shrinks. You suddenly realize that the dark mountain is absolutely nothing compared to the literal creator of the universe who is standing right there beside you. I command you to actively completely change the spiritual atmosphere of your home right now. When you walk into your living room, and the air feels completely thick with heavy tension, bitter arguments, and dark fear, do not just sit down and accept it. Open your mouth. Speak my powerful name out loud. Put on music that violently declares my absolute victory. Watch how the heavy, dark atmosphere shatters into a million tiny pieces when you lift my name incredibly high. The dark enemy absolutely cannot stand to be in the exact same room where my powerful name is being genuinely praised. I know it is incredibly difficult to forcefully find joy in the sacrifice of praise during your absolute hardest, darkest hours. It is called a sacrifice for a very specific reason. It costs you something heavy. It costs you your fierce pride. It costs you your bitter right to violently complain. Praising me when your bank account is totally empty, praising me when your physical body is in immense pain, and praising me when your heart is completely shattered is the highest, most beautiful form of pure worship. When you offer me that deep, bleeding sacrifice, you will experience a shocking, massive breakthrough. You will absolutely lose yourself completely in my magnificent presence, and you will suddenly find the exact, perfect peace you were desperately searching for. You will physically experience a massive, undeniable taste of pure heaven right here on the dirty, broken earth. Lift your tired voice today. Worship me directly in the middle of your violent storm, and aggressively watch the dark waves immediately flatten at your feet. Look directly toward your incredibly bright future right now, my precious child. I know that right now, all you can easily see is the heavy, grinding exhaustion of your daily struggle. You feel completely worn down by doing the absolute right thing when everyone else around you is easily doing the absolute wrong thing and seemingly getting away with it. You consistently choose total honesty at work when others loudly lie to get ahead. You constantly show deep, unconditional love to family members who repeatedly treat you with harsh disrespect. You quietly serve in the dark shadows where absolutely no one ever claps for you. I deeply see your quiet, faithful tears. I know you secretly wonder, is all this heavy effort even worth it? Does anyone actually see how incredibly hard I am trying? I see it all. I command you to fiercely anticipate the massive, shocking rewards of your quiet faithfulness. I want you to deeply understand that a massive, glorious crown of life currently awaits absolutely everyone who relentlessly perseveres in my powerful name. Your current, temporary, light afflictions are actively producing a massive, heavy, eternal glory that vastly outweighs absolutely all of them. The brutal pain you are feeling right now is completely temporary. It has a strict, absolute expiration date. But the massive, shocking reward I am meticulously preparing for you is totally, entirely eternal. One day, very soon, you are going to physically stand directly before me. You will look straight into my burning eyes of pure love, and you will clearly hear me say the most beautiful words you will ever hear. Well done, my good and incredibly faithful servant. In that exact, split second, every single long night of heavy weeping, every brutal moment of sharp rejection, and every single ounce of massive exhaustion will completely, instantly evaporate. I am strongly inviting you to entirely trust that every single hot tear you have ever violently shed is kept securely in my personal bottle for a specific, profound reason. I have completely recorded every single time your heart broke. I have permanently documented every single time you chose to aggressively forgive instead of violently retaliating. You think your painful sacrifices went completely unnoticed, but they were actually ringing like massive, beautiful bells directly in the halls of heaven. I am actively keeping a shocking, magnificent inheritance completely safe in heaven exclusively for you. It can absolutely never perish, it can never totally spoil, and it will absolutely never fade away. I command you to aggressively start living your normal, daily life with a massive, eternal perspective. When you view your current, heavy earthly troubles through the wide lens of forever, they suddenly seem incredibly small and entirely manageable. Do not completely give up right now. You are standing incredibly close to the absolute finish line. Keep your tired feet moving forward. Keep aggressively loving the highly unlovable. Keep boldly serving in the quiet dark. Keep holding tightly to my massive hand. The absolute shock of the beautiful, eternal reward I have specifically prepared for your faithful heart will completely blow your mind and totally erase every single painful memory of this broken world. Take a deep, violent breath of completely fresh air today, my beloved one. I want you to look closely at the heavy, dirty baggage you are forcefully dragging behind you. You are constantly carrying the absolute worst chapters of your painful history everywhere you go. You introduce yourself to new people, and secretly, in your mind, you are actually introducing your past failures. You think you are completely defined by the brutal divorce, the massive financial bankruptcy, the terrible addiction, or the deep, dark mistakes you made 10 years ago. I command you to aggressively drop those heavy, toxic bags right now. Stop dragging dead weight into your brand new season. Behold, I am actively doing a completely new thing right now. You not deeply perceive it. It is violently springing up right in front of your face. I am strongly inviting you to permanently, aggressively close the dark, heavy chapters of your severe pain so you can finally start a completely brand new chapter of absolute, shocking joy. You must completely stop reading the exact same tragic pages of your life story and totally expecting a different ending. I am handing you a completely blank, totally clean page today. The massive, beautiful mercy I provide is totally, completely new every single morning of your entire life. When the bright sun physically rises tomorrow, it is a literal, visible sign from heaven that I have forcefully hit the absolute reset button on your magnificent life. You get to completely start over. You do not owe your dark past absolutely anything. I actively specialize in completely turning your absolute biggest mess into your absolute greatest message. I take your most brutal, humiliating test and I violently forge it into a massive, undeniable testimony of my raw power. The very exact things the dark enemy violently used to try and completely destroy your mind are the exact same things I will directly use to deeply heal thousands of other completely broken people. Stop being deeply ashamed of your deep scars. Your heavy scars are absolute, undeniable proof that the enemy violently tried to completely kill you, but he absolutely, totally failed. You survived. You are still breathing. You are actively stepping into the greatest comeback story ever written. I command you to deeply embrace the massive excitement of a complete, total fresh start, completely regardless of your exact physical age or your current earthly stage. Do not dare listen to the toxic lie that says it is absolutely too late for you. It is never too late for the literal creator of time. Moses was 80 years old when I forcefully called him to totally free a massive nation. You are absolutely not done. Your beautiful story is not completely over. Embrace the massive, shocking transformation that instantly comes from a completely renewed, thoroughly washed mind. Step boldly out of the dark, dusty graveyard of your old, dead regrets. Walk aggressively into the bright, blinding sunshine of your completely miraculous, totally unhindered new beginning today. Stand completely still right now, my precious, deeply loved child, and absolutely listen to my final, heavy words to you today. We have walked through deep, dark valleys in this conversation, and we have forcefully climbed massive, sunlit mountains together. I have completely exposed the dark lies that have violently held you back, and I have aggressively spoken my massive, undeniable truth directly into the deepest, most broken parts of your completely exhausted soul. Now, I am issuing a final, massive call to you. You must permanently, aggressively remain completely rooted in my absolute love so that your daily, shocking joy may be entirely full. Do not just feel a temporary, warm emotion right now, and then violently go right back to your old, heavy habits tomorrow. I am violently sealing the massive, unshakable promises of this entire message directly into your deep spirit forever. When the dark enemy forcefully comes back tomorrow, and he absolutely will, and violently tries to whisper his dark, toxic anxiety into your tired ear, I command you to instantly remember this exact divine conversation. Remember exactly who you truly are. Remember exactly whose you absolutely are. You are the highly favored, completely forgiven, heavily protected, and deeply cherished child of the Most High God. I am actively issuing a massive commission to you today. You must boldly go forth into your dark, heavy world and become a literal, physical carrier of this completely shocking, undeniable happiness. I aggressively commend you to start expecting the exceedingly, abundantly, above all you can possibly ask or even think in absolutely every single area of your magnificent life. Stop looking at your future with deep, heavy dread. Start actively looking at your tomorrow with massive, wild, uncontainable anticipation. I am completely with you always, in every single step, in every single heavy breath, wildly cheering you on from the bright balconies of heaven. I am aggressively fighting your dark battles. I am forcefully opening your heavy doors, and I am actively healing your deep wounds. So, drop your heavy shoulders right now. Unclench your tight, tired hands. Release the massive breath you have been holding in your tight chest for years. The heavy, brutal fight for your deep peace is completely over, because I have already absolutely won it for you. You can completely, totally relax now. Rest now, my precious, beautiful child. Close your tired eyes. Sink deeply and securely into my massive, totally unshakable arms. You are finally entirely safe. You are finally entirely home. And deeply know this absolute, eternal truth, the absolute best, most shocking, most beautiful part of your entire existence is yet to be totally revealed to you. Walk in massive joy. Walk in total power. You are completely mine. My beloved child, as you walk out from this place into the fullness of my shocking joy, I invite you to leave behind a legacy of light for those who will follow in your footsteps. You have received the bread of life today, and now I am calling you to ensure that this table remains spread for every hungry soul who wanders in the wilderness. Your support through super thanks, membership, or PayPal is the oil that keeps the flame of my word burning brightly on this platform. I declare that because you have honored me with your substance, your barns shall be filled with plenty and your vats shall burst with new wine. I will make your name a blessing and surround you with favor as with a shield, protecting your future and your family from every lack. You are not just a listener. You are a partner in the miraculous, a carrier of the exceedingly abundantly life. I command you one final time, step into this divine partnership. Follow the link in the description and sow your best seed right now. I command you now to seal this divine encounter by speaking your faith into the physical world. Do not let these words merely drift away. Capture them and anchor them in your heart right now by declaring your expectation of my goodness. Go to the comments and boldly type, "I am ready for my shocking joy," making it a prophetic decree that shatters the atmosphere of lack and fear. As you type those words, feel the heavy chains of the past physically falling from your hands, for I am even now rushing to fulfill this promise in your life. Do not hesitate. Your bold declaration is the key that unlocks the door to the extraordinary breakthroughs I have already prepared for you. Stand in my power today, knowing that your life is being transformed into a masterpiece of supernatural happiness this very second. Amen.